your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
All right, welcome to Providence Christian High School, week 4 of high school football. Mike Bridges alongside Corey Driggers. We're here to call the action for you, our second broadcast, and Providence will receive the ball. The Red Tops want the toss. They defer to the second half, and so here's the opening kickoff. It's going to go up to about the 25-yard line. Dancing around a little bit, has a little bit of room, gets up to about the 36-yard line. That's where Providence will open up the game.
Yeah, it's Grant Weatherford. Mishandled it for just a second, booted it for a second, but was able to recover it and made a little something out of nothing there. Good coverage by Slocomb. And, you know, with a wet ball, we've already had this rain before the game started tonight. With a wet ball, we may see some turnovers here tonight, so we want to be sure-handed when we get our hands on the ball. Yeah,
the temperature's not too bad out tonight, but probably be played most of the game in the elements. It rained for a good 45 minutes leading up to kickoff, so the field will be wet. We'll see how that affects the ball. As Corey said, we'll also see how that affects the running game. So Providence coming out, traditional set, in motion. It's an inside handoff. Gets just about 4 yards, 5 yards. Give him 6 yards on the carry there, and it's a really good start for Providence.
Yeah, that's Goldsboro on the carry, and, you know, you want to see that. Obviously, early on, it's going to be a battle of the line of scrimmage. We see who can establish that, and that's a good start for Providence. Last week, it really struggled to get things going against Wicksburg.
Well, Providence comes in 1-2, both losses on the road. The win last week, or 2 weeks ago, over Northside Methodist, where they had a school record 71 points, school record 655 yards, school record 10 touchdowns. Really, really good showing at home, and they're going to need another good showing tonight here at home. Once again, it looks like Jake Smith's going to carry the ball himself, gets it up to just about the 45-yard line. Looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, Slocomb doing a better job that time, but sealing the middle. They've got pretty good size on the defensive line, and we're going to try to push them around tonight, but we'll see how that plays out over the night.
And what you'll see from Slocomb coming in 1-1, they have a high-powered offense, but the defense has not really stopped that many people this year as well. They've played one less game. They come in at 1-1. So here we are, 3rd and 1, Providence with the first 3rd down of the game. Snap goes right to Jake Smith. He gives it to Goldsboro. Goldsboro's going to be close, and it looks like they're going to give him about a half-yard short. It looks like he kind of leaned in and was right there, but I think it's going to bring it up 4th and about a half a yard.
Yeah, that's 53, Jordan Daniels for Slocomb, who had the penetration there and really wrapped up Gus. And, you know, Gus is known for getting that extra yard or two after contact, but right there he was wrapped up too good.
And it looks like Providence is going to punt the ball, and you don't want to start the game. It was 3rd and short. If it's 4th and short and you get stopped and you give an offense that's scoring over 40 points a game a short field, you don't want to do that.
No, and something to watch here again with this wet field and the ball, the snap. See if Jake can handle the snap. See if it's a good snap, first of all, to see if Jake can handle it.
And it's not raining right now, but it was wet, and it's just a little bit of a wet atmosphere. So it was a bouncy. The ball takes a little bit of a bounce, goes out at about the 32-yard line. The snap bounced, and that's about the best you can do with that.
Yeah, Jake, being a shortstop on the baseball team, showed good hands right there. He handled that well because that was really a tough thing with it being in the ground and wet as it is. And he gets it off, and, you know, Slocomb's going to start off here with pretty good field position on the 31-yard line.
And that's a situation, too, where when you're fielding that, you don't want to get your knee on the ground as well. You want to kind of bend over and get it because you don't want to have them call you down back there. All right, so here is Slocomb, 1-1 on the season, starting at their own 32-yard line. It's going to be an inside handoff to Jalen Nobles. He bounces to the outside. Providence does a very good job and holds him to about 3 yards.
Yeah, we'll take that all night against Nobles. I saw 65, let's see who that is, 65 Holland Harris and looked like Ford Register and a couple of other Providence Eagles in on the stop there.
So Slocomb has an outstanding rushing game. Jalen Nobles has 315 yards on the season through 2 games. Last week he had 209 yards. 2 of those went for 40-plus for touchdowns. Here we are, 2nd down and 8. Looks like it's going to be Nobles around the right side. He's going to have that first down, breaks a tackle, gets up just about to midfield, and that's what Jalen Nobles does very well, breaks a few tackles, and next thing you know, he's up there 14 yards.
Yeah, the name Jalen Nobles, even as a 10th grader, is already known in the Wiregrass for the numbers that he put up last year, and as you said, what he's already done so far this year. He's going to be an outstanding prospect to watch over the years.
Absolutely.
It's amazing the prospects that are coming out of Geneva County right now in some of those schools.
Yeah, he's 6'1", about 185 pounds, very quick. Last year, single-handedly brought Slocomb back against Providence to tie the game at 21. All right, here's another inside handoff, and looks like he's going to be stacked up for about a 2-yard loss. I can't tell if that is Rayshawn Miller or not.
I believe it was Miller, who is obviously a good 1-2 punch with Nobles, and you can't just key in on Nobles. Fortunately, Providence did not do that there. I saw number 10, Harrison Mims, and also number 58, Matthew Morrison on that stop.
So you'll hear the name Rayshawn Miller a lot tonight. He had 251 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. He's got 514 yards on the season, leading rusher in 3A, and the second leading rusher in the state. So he's very, very accomplished. Providence will have their work cut out for them. 2nd down and 12, going to be the first pass of the game. It's Jalen Nobles and a little slant. You can see how big he is, and able to turn what looked like about a 6-yard gain into a first down.
Yeah, yards after contact. You always want that with your running backs, with your receivers, and Noble splits out there and shows that he's got that versatility in his game. Fortunately, Ford Register was able to close and save an even bigger gain there from his linebacker spot.
Absolutely, and we'll hear the name Ford Register quite a bit tonight. He's got 40-plus tackles already on the season, and a couple of games ago against Northside, he had 20 tackles. Here's an inside to Rashawn, and you can see that speed right there. Gets to the outside. He's got 14, 15. Give him 20 yards on the carry, and he's going to be down to about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, Abe Chancellor with a touchdown saving tackle there. Got a little help from Harrison Mims to clean that up. But I think we had a little miscommunication on the defensive line there. Some people were moving when the ball was snapped, and it opened it up there for number 1, Rashawn Miller.
And we had an absolutely perfect view of that, and they just gave it to Miller, and he was able to just take advantage of that. Had a little bit of a hole, and you could see not an easy guy to take down, and he was able to turn that into about a 20-yard gain, and that really sets up Slocomb. It's about 7.5 minutes to go. Providence taking a timeout. As Corey said, there was a little miscommunication there on the defensive line, so probably wanting to shore some things up. And they haven't done a bad job so far. It's just a couple of those big plays.
Yeah, they've broken some missed tackles, and with as we mentioned before, with it being a little wet, those uniforms are slick. They're going to have to get their hands around them and really wrap them up tonight. One of the storylines going into the game tonight, we know that both teams are 0-1 in the region. And this is a huge game. You don't want to go 0-2 in this region. You can't start the season out in the hole that way. So this is a big game for Providence and obviously a big game for Slocomb for the rest of the year.
It's very much like a year ago when Pike County came in here and beat Providence. You had to think, okay, now Pike County's going to have to lose 2 times. That's not going to happen. If you start out 0-2, you're going to ask the top teams in the region to lose 2 times. With COVID, Wicksburg's a good example of they get a forfeit from Northside because they don't have to play because Northside has a COVID. So that's a victory right there. So we just don't know what's going to happen. So you've got to take care of business when you can take care of business. Got to take care of business at home as well, where Providence obviously so far this year has played better at home.
Yep.
All right, first down and ball at about the 19-yard line. Slocomb. It's going to be a straight run by the quarterback, and he ended up, Colin Thomas, ended up maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage, possibly losing a yard.
Yeah, I saw Tate Thornell, number 3, getting penetration from his defensive back spot, and I believe that was Holland Harris again, 65 with the penetration.
So let's say it's going to be 2nd down and 11, probably about a half-yard loss right there. Slocomb on the move. Jalen Nobles in the backfield. Looked like he moved. There was no call. He just goes through a little crack. He's going to go in for the touchdown right there, right around the left end for 19 yards. Slocomb gets on the board right away with 6:50 to go.
Yeah, we've seen some multiple formations from them. They're spreading us out a little, throwing the ball, but there they spread us out. Give it to Nobles, who gets the corner. Had a missed tackle on the corner there. We've got to make that one a little better effort on that one. But a good run by him. He runs through with those ankle tackles, that's for sure.
Well, and that's what Slocomb does. They've scored 41 and 63 on the year so far, so they're going to be tough to stop offensively. So Providence has their work cut out for them. Providence just is going to have to match them score for score. If you're looking at that drive at 68 yards, you had a 14-yard pass, 20-yard run, 20-yard run, 14-yard run. You have to really limit those. And the old-style straight-on kicker misses it, and Slocomb has a 6-0 lead.
All right, we're going to take that victory and make them pay for that here as we get the ball back.
Well, Providence can score. We saw that against Northside Methodist at 71 points. On the road, they struggled with running the ball. If they can run the ball, which is what they want to do, then they're going to have some success. And we saw in the first drive, first couple of runs, not too bad, and then they kind of got stymied there. So hopefully they can get that running game back under, because they had 655 yards 2 weeks ago here at home. On the road, they had 107 yards and 147 yards. So they need to get back to what they do best here at home.
Yeah, and Slocomb is giving up 34 points a game. So obviously their defense is not stout, as you mentioned before, but we've got to execute here on offense to put some points on the board to close this gap right away.
Yeah, Slocomb's not a team that you want to fall behind. 6-0 is doable. 13, 14, nothing, 20, nothing. You could really start to get yourself into a hole that you can't dig yourself out of. So Slocomb lining up to kick for the second time in the first quarter here.
Teeing it up at his own 40-yard line for the Red Sox, number 54, Morin. Back deep to receive the Eagles, number 23, Goldsboro.
Here we go with the kick, and it's just a little kind of a pooch kick, and it's taken at about the 30-yard line. Goes out just about to the 37-yard line. So once again, Providence with good field position. The first possession couldn't do anything with it. Hopefully they can here in the second possession.
Yeah, that was Tate Thornell, number 3 for Providence, who fielded the kick there. Tate had the big screen pass last week for a touchdown where he broke a couple of tackles and had a spectacular play there at a big time in the game.
Yeah, and when you really look at the Rehoboth game and the Wicksburg game, turnovers played a major part in both of those games. Providence loses 28-14 to Wicksburg, throw 2 interceptions, which give them short fields. They scored on both of them, somewhat of the difference in the game. Here we go with a handoff to Goldsboro. Looks like he's going to get up just about to the 40. The pile's still moving, and looks like they're going to give him forward progress up to about the 42-yard line, so give him 3 yards on that.
Yeah, that's 53. Jordan Daniels for Slocomb there, who again had good penetration and held on for dear life until he could get some help from his teammates.
It looks like that was Christian Durden on that. So we'll have to do a better job of recognizing who's in the game. But Durden's been a good running back. He didn't play the first week because of a hurt meniscus. He's playing with a brace on, but he runs very, very hard. Had 127 yards rushing 2 weeks ago against Northside. This is going to be a run all the way by Jake Smith, the quarterback, and a cut inside. It's got big yardage. He gets all the way down to about the 35-yard line, by far the biggest play so far for Providence.
Yeah, Jake showing his speed, his athleticism, getting to the outside. Great run. Got to give him credit. But, hey, don't miss number 5 on that play. That was a phenomenal block by Durden on the left side there. He looked back. He was waiting, and he cracked down hard on a Slocomb defender to break that open for Jake.
And sometimes that's all it needs to be, is one little block like that right there. Durden's a great runner. You make yourself a good blocker, you're an invaluable teammate. You're going to get a lot of playing time that way. Coaches will notice that when they look at the film later on. So Providence with penetration into Slocomb territory. Here's another run to the outside. Good hard running. Give him about 4 yards.
Yeah, that's Grant Weatherford, number 2. Grant is not a very big kid. He's tall and rangy, but not very heavy, but he runs hard, very hard.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, during part of that 655 yards, he had 180 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, had a great stiff arm. That's one thing you'll watch each and every week. He'll get a good stiff arm in there. So 5:13 to go in the first quarter. We have a timeout for heat. Slocomb leading 6-0. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Back here at Providence Christian High School. 5:13 to go in the first quarter. Slocomb leading 6-0. Providence looking at a 2nd down and 7. A little bit of light rain falling. We told you that it rained at pregame. This is the first rain we've seen of the game. Providence with an inside handoff. Christian Durden, you can see him moving the pile, getting it down close to a first down. Looks like they're going to mark him just about a yard short, give him about 5 yards on that carry.
Yeah, nothing there really, but Durden with a nice cut, saw a little seam, forced his way through, and made something positive out of that play.
And that's what you do. You just keep churning. What they always tell you, just keep those legs moving, get those linemen, getting you just a little bit of a push. This is what happened last time Providence had the ball. They had a 3rd and short, were stopped, ended up punting. At this point, I think if they were to be stopped on 3rd down, they'd probably go for it.
I think we'd have to at this point. With a wet field, we got a good kicker, but with a wet field, it would 4-down territory.
And I'd say we're still a little bit out of field goal range, especially on that wet field. Looks like it's going to be a Jake Smith carry. He's going to be really close. I think they're going to give him that 1st down. It looked like he had more yardage at first, and then he kind of crouched down, but they are going to give him that 1st down.
Barely made it across, as you said there. But we'll take it. Moving the chains. I'll say they're moving the chains. Now they're moving the chains. Okay, a little slow there.
It's the kind of relationship we have with the game management part of it. That sometimes it's not quite as quick as it could be, and that really works on the rhythm of the game as well, and hurts both teams sometimes when you're in a rhythm like that. So Providence with their 2nd 1st down of the game, and just as we talk about the flow of the game, the Eagles take a 2nd timeout. Very rare for them to take 2 timeouts in 1 quarter. So we've got 3:41 to go. Slocomb leading 6-0. Providence taking a timeout. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Okay, here we go. Back here at Providence Christian High School, 3:41 to go. Eagles 1st down, their 3rd 1st down of this drive. It looks like Jake Smith's going to carry it, tries to get outside, and Slocomb does a good job of really flooding that zone, not giving him any avenue.
Yeah, 66 Caleb Drake for Slocomb. One of those had some great penetration there and really busted that play from the beginning. Offensive line is not holding their own right now. Of course, you got to give credit to the Slocomb defensive line. They do have a pretty good defensive line, has some size on us, and it's showing right now.
Well, the game's usually won in the trenches, as we say, and who can control the line of scrimmage, either the offensive line or defensive line. Slocomb so far has controlled it for the most part. Here we go. Looks like it's going to be a pitch out to Durden's going to be a pass. He's got a man wide open and threw it just a little bit quick. Actually had 2 guys wide open. And if he'd have taken just an extra beat there, would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever seen Durden throw a ball, and I think it showed there with how quickly he made that decision. He had time to relax and make that throw a little better. And as you mentioned, Linder was wide open behind Weatherford, too. Weatherford being the intended receiver overthrew him just a little, but Linder was wide open about the 5-yard line, the goal line as well.
Well, and it's footwork, too, and you're running away, and then you try to throw it. You're not squaring your hips up and throwing it and taking that step, and that's going to make it a little bit easier each time. So we're just under 3 minutes. It's 3rd down and 10, and it's going to be another pass. Jake Smith looking. He's got a guy open and just can't haul the ball in. Reed Linder there at about the 12-yard line, just not able to haul it in. And now here's the first real decision for Providence. It's 4th down and 10 with the ball at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, into double coverage there, which was tight coverage by Slocomb. Threw it a little bit high as he went on the run there. But, interesting. That last play before that one was obviously open. The coaches saw something, good coaching there, saw there was something there to try to take advantage of. We just didn't execute. And there we come back and throw the ball again. When was the last time you saw 2 passes in a row from the Eagles?
It's been a while when not playing catch-up to be able to do that. So now it's 4th down and 10. And at this point, Providence has to get down to at least the 15-yard line to keep this drive going. It's going to be a pass again, Jake.
He's open.
He throws it into the end zone just a little bit too far. And again, I think if you go down the seam to Reed Linder, you've got a touchdown.
Yeah, 22 Reed Linder. Nobody within 5, maybe 6, 7, 8 yards of him. Coach Keith is asking Jake, I think right now, about that. Or maybe it was a mix-up on the plays as Jake looks down at his wristband as Coach Keith is talking to him. But, again, really 2 out of the last 3 plays, we had it. We had something there and just didn't quite execute. But, again, can you expect great execution when you don't throw it very often?
Well, and I think that's an underlying theme for the season so far. When Providence has struggled, the execution has not been there. So Slocomb back with the ball for their 2nd drive of the game. It's going to be a handoff to Jalen Nobles. He's just going to string it out to the right side and see how far he can get. Providence doing a good job stacking it up, giving him about 1 yard.
Yeah, much better. Really strung that out, as you mentioned. When you string that play out, you give all the teammates time to get there. That was I saw leading the way there, I believe, Ford Register, along with Harrison Mims, your linebackers.
And it looks like Ford Register is coming out. And so it's 2nd down and 9 for Slocomb. They're leading 6-0, coming up on 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Just a slight little bit of light rain rolling right now. Looks like Rashawn Gary's Rashawn Miller is in the back backfield. And it's going to be a quick out pass and give them about 8 yards on the play. Actually, the spot's probably a little bit better for Providence than it should be, but give them about 8 yards on that play, 7 yards.
Yeah, number 10, Colin Thomas, the quarterback, getting that ball out of his hands quickly. Threw it a little bit low, but I couldn't tell who the receiver was on that play, but he had a burst. When he caught that ball, he took off. Good tackle there by, I believe, number 3 for the Eagles, Tate Thornell. That was Brody Campbell, I believe they just said, on the catch, number 2.
So here we go, 3rd down and 2. Providence needing a stop. It's going to be an inside handoff to Jalen Nobles, and he's got that first down. Give him just about 6 yards on that carry, and as soon as he got the ball, he already had the first down.
Yeah, they're working hard, that right side off the offensive line for Slocomb. Obviously, the coaches have seen something there and are taking advantage of it. Nobles, one of our guys tries to stop him, but he just ran right over him with the power and the speed that he has.
Well, at his size, 6'1", 185 pounds, very skilled runner that he's not going to go down by a waist tackle, not going to go down by an arm tackle, got to go for his legs and try to wrap him up. So Slocomb gets the first down, coming up on a minute to go in the first quarter, and Rashawn Miller is in the backfield now. It's going to be a pass, and there's an opportunity for a sack, and Providence with what I believe may be the first sack of the year, and it's going to bring up a second down in about 18.
Yeah, and of all places from where the sack to come from, it's a cornerback, Gus Goldsboro, number 23, who we obviously know he knows how to tote the ball himself. So great pursuit there by Gus. Good call by our defense, and big loss for Slocomb. They're going to set them behind the chains here on this second down.
Absolutely, and that's what they need to do with a high-powered offense. It's actually the second sack, if you remember, that in the Northside game on that 4th down, there was a great sack as well by Jonathan Wells on that play.
Speaking of Wells, we certainly are missing him on both sides of the ball as Jonathan is injured.
Yeah, he got injured in that Northside game and did not play last week, not playing this week. So we have a officials whistle. They got together to talk about carpooling after the game. So here we go. And Slocomb doesn't have to get the play off if they don't want in the first quarter, but they're going to do it. Going to be an inside handoff once again. Providence doing a good job of stacking it up. And as they end the first quarter, they stack up 2 good defensive plays back-to-back.
No question. That's Miller, who's very dangerous. But Harrison Mims and a couple of other teammates made the play there to stop him for virtually no gain. So here we are, 3rd and long.
It's going to be 3rd and long, but we're going to switch ends of the field with Slocomb leading 6-0 after 1 quarter here at Providence Christian High School. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier Showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
At Enterprise State, we believe college is for everyone who wants a path to something better. And we're Alabama's fastest growing community college because we're redefining what college can be. More affordable, more accessible, more of the programs you need to find a high-paying job or fast forward the career you've already started. Whether you come for advanced technical training or a solid academic foundation, you'll leave with the tools it takes to make your future happen faster. Learn more and get moving today.
Your number 1 source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Back here at Providence Christian High School, starting the second quarter with Slocomb leading 6-0, but facing a 3rd down and 15, almost 16 yards. And this would be a big stop for Providence. They got a good sack on first down of this drive, and then they got a good stack up on the second down. And once again, under pressure, Thomas not going to be able to throw the ball. He is knocked down. Give him about 1 yard on the play. There is a flag.
Yeah, I thought one of the Slocomb guys started a little early, but I thought that was on the opposite side of the field. I don't know what this flag was. I must have missed it. But a good job of putting pressure on the quarterback there. Looks like we've got a Providence guy down. I can't tell who that is from this angle.
I also thought that I saw that it looked like the left guard or left tackle moved early. I did see a Providence guy coming in quick there at the end, so I don't know if they're going to call like a late hit. But as we've seen throughout the season, you just never know. It is a holding on Slocomb. Obviously, they're not going to take that. So that was a 1-yard gain, bringing up 4th down and 14, and obvious punting situation for Slocomb. Big for Providence to be able to stop them there.
It really was. We couldn't go down 2 scores there. Now we've got a chance to get the ball back. Weatherford, number 2, is going to be back deep for us. He's coming in, I guess, safety.
Well, Thomas is the kicker, so we'll see if it's going to be one of these where he's just going to kind of back out a little bit and quick kick. So that's what I kind of figured. He's just going to go back. He'll do a quick kick here. Providence will let the ball go. Actually, a little bit closer there than you would have thought of to block it. And wouldn't you know it, works out perfectly for Slocomb. Ball end over end goes down to about the 9-yard line. And so what looked like could have been good field position for Providence, they're now going to have to basically go the length of the field.
Yeah, I think that was a 50-plus yard punt there. You have to go into that safe formation, and that's one of the things, a little trickery there by the coaches, making somebody make an adjustment on that little pooch kick, and you bring in your receiver, your punt returner, and obviously that worked out well for Slocomb there.
Yeah, Reed Linder did get through the line, got close to being able to do something with that, but not able to block it. And so now Providence starts 1st down and 10, 3rd possession at their own 9-yard line. Gus Goldsboro back there in the backfield, and kind of the rhythm of the game so far is 3 or 4 plays, stoppage, 3 or 4 plays, stoppage. So there is a timeout by Slocomb on the field with 11:38 to go. We'll take the timeout with them. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Hey, you're right, it is.
Following the Slocomb timeout, we got 11.5 to go in the second quarter. 1st down and 10, Providence at their own 9-yard line. Gus Goldsboro back in the backfield with Jake Smith. He's going to get it right up the middle, makes a good cut, and gets a good run. Give him just about 7 yards on the play.
Yeah, very nice cut there. As he's going to the right, he sees a little opening, cuts it back, and gets, as you said, 7 yards into that play. Saw some blocking going on by Weatherford. Boy, he's always tied up with somebody, it seems. And he plays hard. That kid gives you every ounce of energy he's got.
And that's what you need, guys like that. On a night like tonight, the rain has subsided. It was really light the last 15 minutes or so, but it's a wet field. But you want to go the length of the field on this one and put a lot of pressure on Slocomb, their defense having to stay out there for quite a while, play after play. Once again, it looks like Gus has it. He had a big hole right there. It looked like he was going to break it. He does get the 1st down and give him about 10 yards on that carry.
Yeah, it looks like we had a little miscommunication there on the handoff for a second. Surprised we didn't have a loss there. Fortunately, Gus was able to secure it from Jake and turn it into a really big gain. So we're inside the 10-yard line, and here we are already out at the 25 virtually.
I thought at first that it was going to be a Jake hold the ball, so that's one of those where you don't want to say one way or the other, but there was a slight hole there for just a second, but he did get the 1st down, and either way, you're out of the shadow of your own goal line. So 1st down and 10, ball at the 24-yard line. Providence trying to string together good plays. Looks like it's going to be a pass once again, and it's intercepted by Rashawn Miller. He's going to take it in for the touchdown, and Slocomb gets their 2nd touchdown. This one a defensive touchdown, and really putting Providence in a hole now.
No question. What the coaches, I'm sure, thought when they make that call is a safe play, just a little quick screen type pass. And number 1, Rashawn Miller read it perfectly, stepped right in the passing lane, took it away, and scores obviously the touchdown.
And this has been an uncharacteristic of Providence, the turnovers that they've had this year. And once again, last week, interceptions plagued them against Wicksburg, and already in the first half, an interception has really been disastrous as Rashawn Miller takes it back for a touchdown. So trying the extra point here for Slocomb. And the conversion looks like this one is good, and it's going to be a 13-0 Slocomb lead just 2 minutes into the second quarter. I think if we were able to go back and look at that interception, which we don't have the replay, but if we're able to go back and look at that, he throws that ball on a line. I think if he puts a little air under it, it's going to go over the top of Miller. Miller's only 5'8", but it goes over the top of him, and it's probably going to be a chance at a big gain. So it was a good play.
Yeah.
It just, once again, the execution not there.
Yeah, and he was trying to get it out to, I believe that was Gus, that he was trying to get it out quickly to Weatherford. He'd gone in motion on that play and ran a little deeper out, and he was, from what I could tell, was wide open too. But Jake made a quick decision, got rid of it, and cost us there.
Yeah, I absolutely think that some of these are quick decisions. We're having a chance to kind of look at the replay here. Once again, like we said, if he just puts a little air under it, he's got two guys open, but instead he goes on a line. And give Rashawn Miller credit. He was right there, was able to catch it.
Very athletic play. I mean, the kid obviously has shown what he can do with the ball in his hands on offense, but right there reaches up and just picks that ball out of the air.
And this is also a good example for people that are fans of high school football. When you have a team like Slocomb, if you get a couple of really, really good players like Jalen Nobles and Rashawn Miller, you can go a long way because you have difference makers on there. And once they start making some of those plays on defense as well, that's just an added bonus.
No question, and no better example of that than a flashback to the semifinals 2 years ago when Providence went down to Flomaton. We had the better coaching staff, we had the better team, there was no question, but they had one player in particular who was the difference maker in that game.
This is a good run back for Providence, and Tate's able to bring it back to about the 40-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 38, and it looked like he was going to be stacked up at his own 40, broke a tackle, and gives Providence really good field position, exactly what they needed to try to get back in this game.
No question, you need a spark right there. Tate gets a hold of it, runs through a couple of tackles, and makes something happen. That's what we need.
So Tate Thornell there with that return, putting Providence in business at the Slocomb 38-yard line. They're trailing 13-0. Plenty of time to go in the game. And Providence has gotten some good positive yardage. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot. Let's see what happens here. Inside handoff to Christian Durden's got a big hole. Give him about 10 yards. They'll probably give him about 9 yards on that. But you get the good kickoff, and you get it 9 yards there, and Providence getting what they need.
Yeah, nice job there by the offensive line, especially on the right side. I saw Ian Smith, saw Reed Linder, the tight end, giving him some running room there. And we see here quickly the coaches are making no secret about this. We're going Goldsboro drive, we're going Durden a drive, and Durden has earned that. It's taking nothing away from the great job that Goldsboro has done all year, but Durden is really running the ball well.
Absolutely. Goldsboro had 250 yards a couple of weeks ago, but you need two running backs. We got a big hole right here by Christian Durden, takes it down to about the 20-yard line, and give Providence a first down. Give him just about, we'll give him 10 yards on that carry, and the first down is what you need. What we keep saying is just stack up good play after good play.
Yeah, good blocking again there on the left side this time, and I saw Grant Weatherford as a receiver getting a good block down the field to keep that open for Durden.
And Durden's so close to really breaking some. He's getting back with that knee underneath him, and he just needs to get the confidence underneath him. And you can see right there, that's another example. That looked like didn't have much. Give him 4 yards on it.
Yeah, nice penetration there. Number 19 for Slocomb, that's Truman Matthews, who is a 6'1", 185-pound senior for the Red Tops.
So now it's going to bring up 2nd down and 6, and at this point I think Providence needs to just keep doing what they're doing. Kind of passed it a little bit on the first few possessions. I think on this one you might be smart just to keep running it. So snap just a little bit high. Durden does get it, is met just head on. And let's see who that was, number 54, and probably give them 1 yard gain on it. So that brings up now 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, as you said, the snap a little high there for us. That slowed things down. You throw the timing off on a play like that, you give the opponent the opportunity to get the penetration, and that's just what Slocomb did there.
Yeah, and the snap was high into Jake's right. If it's high into his left, it's a little bit easier. And by the time Christian gets it and gets himself gathered, he meets the guy in the hole, and he's already too high. And that's a perfect example of the defender a little bit lower, and he gets on top of him. So now it brings up about 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6. Providence needing to get a first down. Durden in motion, but it's an inside handoff, and almost looks like he dropped the ball.
Yep.
And that shows you right there with the wet grass what can happen. Drop the ball, and it squirts out just a little bit, and Slocomb has it. Second turnover for Providence and killing a promising drive.
Yeah, multiple players had their hand on that ball as it came loose, and ultimately number 3 for Slocomb, that's Christopher Bashirs, a senior, ends up with the fumble recovery. And here we go. We threaten. We get on their side of the field. We saw this last week a couple of times, and we couldn't punch it in. So you can't get near the red zone or in the red zone and not come away with points and win many games.
Right. It just needs to be better execution, and really it didn't look like anything happened, but he dropped the ball. Now the ball's wet, but just looked like he dropped it. Didn't look like anybody got their hand in it. So Slocomb with the ball back, 7:50 to go in the second quarter, leading 13-0. Rashawn Miller in the backfield. He's going to get it. Going to try the right side. He's got a big, big lane. See if Providence can track him down. They do, but that's after a huge gain and give him just about 20 yards on that carry.
Yeah, good job by the left side of the Slocomb offensive line, sealing that edge over there. Miller able to get it. Fortunately, Weatherford, number 3, comes from all the way, or a long way away to make that tackle. Really, probably a touchdown-saving tackle.
Well, you look at Miller's carry so far, he's got 4, -2, 22, 20. So got to do a better job of limiting those bigger runs. And Providence defense hasn't been bad tonight, but has given up some big runs. So now Jalen Nobles back in the backfield. Slocomb enjoying 2 really good running backs. So the give is to Nobles. He's going to try that right side again. Got a big, big lane and runs over a Providence guy and gets pretty close to a first down. We'll see what they give him, either 8 to 10 yards there.
Yeah, back-to-back runs for huge yardage on that left side. You got to give again the line credit for Slocomb. Good blocking, sealing the edge there, and we're having to make tackles with DBs, and that's not what you want on running backs.
So they gave him 10 yards on that carry, so he is able to get the first down, and Slocomb really looking good on this drive. And those first 2 runs, they've seen something on that left side and haven't even really gone on the inside. They just got to the corner. So Providence needs to do a better job of setting that edge and setting that corner, not letting them get outside containment. It looks like it's going to be a straight quarterback run, kind of dipping his way through. He's got a big lane, and Thomas is able to get down just about to the 32-yard line. So once again, you're going to give him about 16 yards on that carry, and everything is working for Slocomb right now.
Yeah, we know a little about Thomas. He's only he's a junior, but he can throw it, he can run it. He's a really good athlete. The Slocomb coaches love him as a leader. I believe he's their shortstop on their baseball team, and he shows his wheels there. Really a good burst there, and ran hard even as he was being tackled. He's still running hard.
Kind of picked his way through to make that happen. So here's a give to Miller once again. He's just picking his way down to the left side. A big hit, a fumble, and Providence is able to get on top of it. And Tate Thornell, it looks like, got that one. And Providence able to get the ball back and right what they needed.
Absolutely. I'm not sure exactly who jarred that loose. I saw Michael Shivers, 44, and Abe Chancellor, number 8, in on that tackle. Really good contact there, throwing that ball loose on the ground, and then our defense does what you're supposed to do, pounce on it.
So we have a chance to look at a replay here, and it just looks like it's a big hit right there by Christian Durden was able to hit that and knock that out, get a forced fumble, and Tate Thornell was able to get the ball. I think Grant Weatherford had ideas of picking it up and going, it's a wet ball. That may not have been the smartest decision. Just fall on it, give yourself an opportunity. So Providence, absolutely what they needed with 6:45 to go here in the second quarter, get the ball back. So Gus Goldsboro going to try the right side and give him just about 4 yards. We're going to have a penalty on the outside. Not sure whether it's going to be on Providence or Slocomb. The wide receiver and the defensive back were kind of jostling, and both threw themselves to the ground, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, that's number 2 for Slocomb, Brody Campbell. Number 8, Abe Chancellor for Providence. They were tied up there in the defensive backfield. I believe that's going to go against Slocomb. Now this will be a big blow if it is against them.
Yeah, so there's going to be a personal foul. I think they're going to call it on both players.
Both ways.
Corey, we could sit and debate this for a long time, but we'll just let it go. So, but give Gus 4 yards on that, and I think in that situation, if I'm the official, I get both the guys together and say, let's stop, because I'm going to call it on one of you next time. So you've kind of been warned. But it brings down 2nd down and 6 for Providence, getting the ball back following a big hit by Christian Durden and a forced fumble recovery. And Providence needs to take advantage of this because Slocomb gets the ball back to start the second half. So it's going to be another run inside with Goldsboro and give him just about 4 yards on that carry. Well, give him 3 yards on that carry. He's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, had just a seam for just a second, but boy, it closed really quickly. That's 26 Braylon Miller for Slocomb on the tackle.
And it's really been what Providence has had most of the game so far. You see a little bit of an opening, and Slocomb just able to slow him down enough to not be able to get right through that opening. So we'll see what Providence can do here. About 3rd down and 4. Gus Goldsboro in the backfield still. Going in motion. Looks like it's going to be a Jake Smith run all the way. Can he get around the corner? He does. And let's see where they mark him. We do have a penalty flag. Kind of hard to see what happened.
That was on in the secondary, too. I believe he's throwing it back closer to where our runner went out of bounds.
Probably a
be a hold
at this point, I'm guessing. Yep, it's a holding penalty, and that would have been a 1st down. And once again, Providence shooting themselves in the foot here. And let's see where they're going to mark it from.
Yeah, based on the place where he marked that from, I don't think that made a bit of difference in us getting the 1st down there. Well, that hurts. Those kind of decisions. Hold on a little bit too long, get a little too much jersey, and back you up. And when we're trying to move the ball to get these points back before the half.
Right. Well, we can debate all night long on what is holding, what isn't holding. Why do you see that one? Why do you not see the other ones that are obvious? But it brings up a 3rd down, and basically it's about 3rd and 8. So instead of a 1st down, Providence backed up 4 yards from where they started that play and bring up a 3rd down and long. We've got the Heat timeout with 5:56 to go in the 2nd quarter. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. So a big 3rd down coming up for Providence here with 5:56 to go in the 2nd quarter, down 13-0. Following a 1st down run, there was a holding call. So now Providence looking at a 3rd down and 8. And with 6 minutes still to go, if they're not able to pick it up, you feel like they're going to punt. We'll see what the play they have here. So far, their passing game has not been crisp, so we'll see what they want to do. And it's an outside run. Looks like got a little bit of a hole. He's got one man to beat, just not able to beat him and make a move. Maybe give him 1 yard here. Brings down a 4th down, and I'm sure that Providence is going to have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, I think that's a great play call. You get Weatherford on the edge, who's got all the speed, all the athleticism, but, you tip your hat to number 2 for Slocomb. Brody Campbell made a phenomenal open field tackle. Yeah,
he had one guy. It was basically one-on-one, like the old one-on-one drills, and you got to give Campbell credit there. He was able to make the tackle that Slocomb needed. So now here is the 2nd punt of the game. Jalen Nobles is back, and you would think that that's the last guy that you want to punt the ball to. It's a pretty decent punt. Goes over to the left side. The ball is bobbled just a little bit, and a little scary moment there for Slocomb. They were able to get back on it. Great punt, and now Slocomb will start the drive at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 3, Christopher Rashears, that mishandled that just a little bit. Really a great punt by Jake Smith, not only in distance but in direction. He gets that over to the left side, keeps it away from Nobles, gets a good bounce and a good roll there.
Yeah, and a good tackle there by Ben McClurkin to get on top of it, because you never know as he's going to the ground. The ball's slippery. We've seen that so far, so a good job by him. All right, so we got 5:19 to go. Slocomb with the ball once again. Let's see what they can do here. They've got trips out to the right side. First time we've seen this formation, but it's just going to be a run to Nobles. He's going to try to get to the outside. Not going to happen, and good containment for a second for Providence, but he's able to make something out of nothing there and give him 3 yards.
Yeah, give the credit to our right side of our defensive line there. They did set the edge there. We saw 2 plays in a row last series where they didn't do that. They do it there, sending back. And even though he gained 3 yards, much better than 10 or 12 that we've been seeing.
Absolutely. But a good tip is that don't try to tackle him high. Try to get him at the waist, try to get him at the legs, because he's too strong and too good of a runner. And so now it brings up 2nd down and about 5 yards. It's going to be another handoff to Nobles. He's going to try that side, able to get through. He's got a big gain coming up, and Providence able to corral him, but give him another 20-yard gain on the play and a first down for Slocomb.
Yeah, that's just good vision there. There was just a slight hole. He squirted through it and turned what could have been a 3 or 4 yard gain again into obviously a huge gain.
He's a good runner. Kind of picks his way through. Kind of you see Le'Veon Bell and some of those runners in the NFL, what they do. They don't just jam themselves in right there. He looks and sees back through. So it's something that Providence is going to need to clean up just a little bit if they can. All right, so we got Nobles in now as quarterback. Let's see what he can do. And all sorts of confusion. He has thrown a touchdown pass this year, so this is not unheard of to see him do this. It just shows you the kind of athlete he is.
Yeah, get him back there, get the ball directly in his hands and let him move. But, when you change things up, a lot of times there's miscommunication, there's an issue. And obviously with him being at quarterback there, something on the line, somebody wasn't ready, didn't know the snap count, and fortunately we'll get 5 yards out of that.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a carry for him all the way, or maybe he was going to pitch it over to Rashawn Miller. It's not something defensive coordinators want to see much, to see Rashawn Miller and Jalen Nobles in the backfield as the only two guys. So once again, he's staying in at quarterback. No running back with him. It's just a straight run by him, and he's just going to go over to the right side just a little bit and give him just about 3 yards, but I'm sure they're going to call a holding penalty here.
Yeah, probably so there on the right side. Good job of pursuit there by our linebackers, 38 Ford Register and 10 Harrison Mims. He was only going to have a 3 or 4 5 yard gain at the most there anyway.
So it looks like they called a hold there at about the 30, so that's really going to back them up back to the 25-yard line. It's going to bring up, I believe it's still first down.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be first down and 20. There's a stoppage in play here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that the ball wasn't back far enough. So now it's going to bring up first and 25, and this is, with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, this is a must stop for the Providence defense, which has not been bad tonight, holding Slocomb to just 6 points, the other 7 coming on an interception return for a touchdown. Here is Thomas back to pass, just going to be a screen pass over the middle to Nobles. Once again, he gets it and give him just about 12 yards on that reception, and that could have been a lot worse.
Could have been. Goldsboro there on the coverage had some contact early right when he caught the ball, but hung on for 5 or 6 yards until he finally was able to bring him down.
And the outside defensive end getting up, almost getting that ball tipped, just not enough. So 3.5 to go in the second quarter. Slocomb really taking their time here on this drive, and probably their best case scenario is that they can just run the clock down for the rest of the half and try to get some points because they get the ball to start the second half. So Thomas back in there at quarterback. He's just going to straight draw back. Looks like he was going to try to pass it long, but he's just going to run it out of there. Gets a good angle and gets a lot of yards, takes a big hit, but sets up a really manageable 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, you see the toughness of that kid. He scrambles, really makes something happen. You see his speed and that burst he has, that being Thomas. And he did. He took a really hard hit there. Stuck his nose in there, didn't back down, and bounces right back up and ready to make the next play.
The officials are talking. Let's see what it looks like, maybe a block in the back possibly. From our vantage point, it looks like the official is 2.5 miles from us. So we'll see how far that backs him up.
So that's 3 out of the last 4 plays. They've had a penalty, I believe, and kind of reminiscent of our team last week. Had, I think, 3 in a row at one point.
Right.
Penalties. So we have got to take advantage of this. Slocomb is shooting themselves in the foot over and over, and we've got to stop. We've got to go 3 and out here, get this ball back, and score before the half. It's going to be a timeout here, looks like.
So we have another timeout on the field. 3:10 to go in the second quarter, and it'll looking at a 2nd down and long for Slocomb. And when we come back, we'll take a look and see what they do with the last 3 minutes here in the second quarter. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Back here at Providence Christian High School, 3:10 to go in the second quarter. Slocomb leading 13-0, looking at a 2nd down and about 16 yards. They've run 4 plays on this possession. Seems like they've had the ball for 45 minutes. It's just a straight handoff to Jalen Nobles. He's able to get maybe about 4 yards, setting up a 3rd down and long, and Providence doing very good there. Those runs, the last couple of plays, they've been able to add another 5-6 yards, so good play there by Providence.
Yeah, Ford Register coming from his linebacker position to make that tackle along with another Eagle. I couldn't tell who that was, but here we are, 3rd and long. It's time to execute. It's time for somebody to step up, put some pressure on the quarterback if they're going to throw the ball. Make something happen here so we can get this ball back and get some points on the board before the half.
Basically what we've seen tonight is it's either a run to Miller or Nobles or a pass to Nobles. So just identify where they are. They went with the hard count there and got an offsides, it looks like. So it's going to bring what was a 3rd down and 11 down to 3rd down and 6.
Certainly hope that doesn't cost us.
Absolutely, but it does change the play call, I bet.
Certainly can.
Slocomb.
Certainly can.
I bet that was going to be a pass. Now it could be anything. It's a proverbial whole playbook here, but my guess is it's still either going to be a run to Miller or Nobles or a pass. So you've got Miller and Nobles back in the backfield with Thomas. And it's just going to be a straight handoff to Nobles. He sees a burst, goes right up the middle, able to break 3 tackles, 4 tackles, spins his way down to the 30-yard line. Just a straight run up the middle, but you turn around and you give him just about 25 yards on that play.
Yeah, the middle opened up huge there, and then Noble shows his speed. He saw the hole and hit it as hard. I mean, the speed he showed, the acceleration he showed right there is obviously elite, especially at the high school level.
Absolutely. As you said, as soon as he got the ball and looked up, he saw that hole, and that's probably the best burst we've seen so far from him tonight.
You've got a kid 210 pounds that gets his momentum going like that. You can't arm tackle him if you're 165 pounds.
We got Miller and Nobles in the backfield again. Nobles going in motion. Thomas gets the ball, just going to give it straight to Miller. He's got a little bit of a hole and give him just about 4 yards on that carry. And time at this point going to be a little bit. Slocomb might need to go just a little bit quicker. We've gone under 2 minutes.
Yeah, did a good job of containing him there. Number 3, that was Tate Thornell on the stop.
And Providence has done a good job on Miller. He, at this point, unofficially has about 43 yards, coming in with over 514 yards on the season. But Nobles has been more the workhorse, and he's getting his yards. So we're coming up on just about 1:20 to go. Slocomb with the ball at the 27-yard line, looking down at his 2nd down and 6. Miller goes in motion. Again, it's the same play on the 3rd down play, straight up the middle for Nobles. Providence plays it very well, just gives him 2 yards, and we're going to go under a minute.
Yeah, good job by our defensive line. Good job by our linebackers to close that gap. Short gain. Now we got 3rd down coming up again.
Yeah, you feel like Slocomb, this is 2-down territory, so they're going to take 2 downs to try to get the 1st down. There is 50 seconds to go. Kind of surprised that they're going as kind of nonchalantly as they can. 16 to go on the play clock. It looks like they're still going to run the play. Under 40 seconds to go. It's going to be a straight pass. It looks like he's going to try to go to Nobles. He just throws it up. And that's an easy push-off.
That's offensive, yes.
And I think they are going to call that on Nobles. That was easy to see. And really the defensive back, had he had a better chance to not been pushed, he might have had a chance to intercept that.
I fully agree with that. Really good pressure there by 65 Holland Harris that forced that bad throw. Let's see what they're going to call.
As we say all the time, anytime the officials get together, nothing good happens. So they call defensive holding, offensive holding. I've never seen that in all of my years. I'm not as old as you think I am, but I've never seen that. But I've never seen double holding.
I must say that's a first as well.
Well, maybe it's the new era of we don't want to make anybody mad.
There was certainly a push-off at the end of the play. When the ball's in the air, I think it's pass interference. There's holding before the ball is thrown.
Right. Easy. It's an easy call. It's an easy call. It's called on every level. But it's not tonight. So 3rd down and 4 with 30 seconds to go. Thomas takes it, just going to give it straight to Nobles. The bread and butter play up the middle. It's going to be really close. We're going to see what they do. We're not at a good angle there. It looks like maybe he made it by a half yard, but we're looking at 21 seconds here. And Slocomb, I'm not sure how many. They still have 2 timeouts to go. We do have an injured Slocomb player on the field. I'm not sure who that is. You don't want to speculate. It could be Jalen Nobles, but not sure. But 21 seconds to go, and going to be a 1st down and 10 for Slocomb at about the 19-yard line. But at this point, probably going to need to pass the ball if they're going to try to get points. I'm not sure if they can kick a field goal or not.
Yeah, their kicking game, obviously, with missing one of the extra points, is shown it's a little shaky. So I'm sure they're thinking throw it into the end zone if they're not able to punch it in with a run. But they've got one timeout left, so they got a little time to work with.
So they have to use the timeout, I think, on the injury there. It is Jalen Nobles, and don't want to speculate. It looks more like it could just be a wind knocked out of. He's been a real workhorse, and even though the temperature's a little bit cooler, it is a humid night, and so he's got a lot of work here in the first half. So 21 seconds to go. The ball is sitting at the 20-yard line. I tell you, these angles that we're at here, it's hard to tell if that's the 15 or the 20, but it is the 20. It looks like a passing down here for Thomas. He's got 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, and he's got Rashawn Miller in the backfield, who is a very dangerous runner. It's going to be a straight pass. He's trying to get it to Miller. He can't, and so just kind of runs it, takes a big hit on the outside. He does get out of bounds with about 12 seconds to go. The clock is still running. The officials have not stopped the clock. They stopped it with 7 seconds to go. We'll see if they want to add more time on.
Yeah, there was at least 5 seconds that ran off after the play was over. That was a really hard hit, good hit. It looked clean from here that Harrison Mims put on him to knock him out of bounds.
It did, and maybe he did knock him out of bounds. It's so far away, you can't really tell where he went out. It did look like he went out of bounds. So it doesn't look. So they put 15 seconds on the clock, so another 8 seconds to go. It is a 2nd down and 2, but more importantly, there's 15 seconds to go. And Thomas is going to roll out. He wants to go to the end zone. He throws it down and can't tell if they made the catch. No catch. And now there's 6 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, that was intended for number 13, Dawson Hill. Good pressure there by as we flushed him out of the pocket as he's rolling out. Good coverage. And here we are with 6 seconds, as you said. Slocomb still with 1 timeout left, I believe. Is Nobles back in the game? Haven't seen him.
No, he hasn't been back in the game. You still have Miller going with 6 seconds to go. Thomas tries the hard count. Providence doesn't bite. He gets the play in. Tries the hard count again. Looks like they're just going to call a timeout. So it's hard to think about with 5 seconds to go in the second quarter, a seminal part of the game, but this is a seminal part of the game. With Providence trailing 13-0, it looks like they're adding time back on the clock. It is 6.2 seconds. And but you got to keep Slocomb out of the end zone here because they get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, we've obviously got a lot at halftime to talk about. Our coaches do to work on and correct, make some adjustments. But at least if we stop them here, you take something positive into halftime, something you can hang your hat on and say we held them. They're obviously down at the 10-yard line. This is going to be probably one play. I guess if they throw it quick and it hits the ground, they might get 2 out of it. But with no timeouts, this is likely going to be the last play of the first half. And, again, we need something positive to go forward into the locker room with.
I almost wonder if they might try to run it with Miller, see if he can get in. If not, if he can get down. If he can get some positive yardage, he might be able to get a chance at a field goal. And really, when you look at the first half, it looks like they're going to go field goal here now. But you look at the first half, Providence has given up 9 plays of 10-plus yards. If you can knock those out, you might have a little bit of a different result. So here's a 27-yard field goal attempt by Slocomb. The ball is up, and the kick is good. And Slocomb, with 2 seconds to go, increases the lead to 16-0.
Yeah, that's number 54, Oziel Morin, who is also an offensive lineman and a linebacker, who makes that kick there. So really punched it through. I wasn't expecting that, I'll tell you.
And he's the toast of Slocomb tonight with that kicking, playing a little offensive line, playing place kicker as well, and he's doing it the old Jim Bakken style. That we can really date ourselves and talk about the straight-on kicker.
I don't know who that is, Mike.
Oh, come on now. You had it. You had his football card. We know that. So, but at this point, Providence is just going to take the ball here and kneel it or try to run it here on the kickoff, and then going down 16-0, and really needs to regroup coming out for the second half.
Required throughout the stadium, so thank you for doing your part to keep yourself and others safe by social distancing.
And part of it is that Providence is just going to need to shore up some of their execution when they've had opportunities and they've shot themselves in the foot, and which has been very unlike Providence over the last few years. Very well disciplined team, but just not able to get in sync offensively.
It's some of that. I mean, we had Collins McClintock who quarterbacked this team for three and a half years, basically. And, Jake's still learning. The team is learning him. We've had some issues on the offensive line, obviously, with injuries. We're trying to replace some folks there. So getting that chemistry, so much of football is chemistry. And we're obviously having some chemistry issues right now and some execution issues.
So here we go with the kickoff. Just going to be a little bit of a punch shot right there. Providence goes down with it, and generous clock runs out. So it is 16-0, Slocomb leading after 2 quarters, and really offensively dominating those 2 quarters. And they will get the ball to start the second half, and we will be back here with the second half. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier Showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
At Enterprise State, we believe college is for everyone who wants a path to something better. And we're Alabama's fastest growing community college because we're redefining what college can be. More affordable, more accessible, more of the programs you need to find a high-paying job or fast forward the career you've already started. Whether you come for advanced technical training or a solid academic foundation, you'll leave with the tools it takes to make your future happen faster. Learn more and get moving today.
Your number one source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Welcome back to Providence Christian High School, and week 4 of the season. That at the 5 weeks ago, not sure if we were going to have a season, and so far things have gone pretty well across the state of Alabama, and gone well for most of the teams in the area as far as COVID goes and things like that. Mike Bridges alongside Corey Driggers for the second half here of Providence hosting Slocomb. Slocomb with a 16-0 lead, going to receive the second half kickoff here. There appears to have been some sort of penalty at some point somewhere that was not relayed to us, and Providence kicking off now from the Slocomb 45.
Yeah, I missed that, Mike. I'm not sure exactly what happened. We'll take it, though. I'll tell you that.
A quick poll of the people standing 5 feet from us. Nobody else knows what's going on. So we'll see. Is it going to kick off to the end zone, or what we're going to do here? And just a kick into the end zone, going to go out of the back of the end zone, and Slocomb going to have the ball to start the second half at the 20-yard line.
It'll certainly be interesting to see what adjustments our defense made at the half. Obviously, the coaches, I'm sure, saw some things, were able to get together. And we got a great coaching staff here at Providence who see things and want to make the adjustments. But, coaches can only do so much. We got to have our kids come out and execute. Hopefully they had a good halftime speech and they're ready to go and put that plan back into action.
Defensively, Providence wasn't too bad in the first half. You see the 16-0. 7 of that was an interception return for a touchdown. Jalen Nobles, the great running back, he had 111 yards in the first half unofficially. Rayshawn Miller, also the great running back, they were able to keep him in check, about 43 yards. First play of the second half, no surprise. Jalen Nobles runs it around the right side for about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, Nobles had the injury there towards the end of the second half, but here he is back in fresh legs, running again. Looked like 38 for Register and a couple of others on the stop for the Eagles.
You knew that it just looked like he had had the wind knocked out of him a little bit and had a lot of work there in the first half. He knew he'd come back in the second half. He's in the slot here on the left side, and that's just going to be a straight give to Rashawn Miller. It's going to be a fake, and the quarterback holds it. And again, we talked about it in the first half. He only had about 10 yards rushing on the season, but tonight he had 17 yards, and then right there give him about 15 yards.
Yeah, Colin Chancellor really has a good burst from the quarterback position. And, when you're keying on these running backs, you fake the handoff there. They even fool the one and only Mike Bridges there on the fake. So a nice gain there. Had Goldsboro and Abe Chancellor, the defensive backs, on the tackle.
That was very hurtful, Corey, that I was able to miss that. There's a lot going on up here. So it's an inside handoff once again, right straight up the middle with Jalen Nobles, and he's able to move the pile. He takes a big hit and gets 6 yards on that carry.
Yeah, I believe that was 5. Durden coming in from his safety position to really hit Nobles hard. And, hey, you want to do that. You got to come back. You got to be willing as a DB to stick your head in there and do that. It's good to see Durden make that hard hit, and maybe that makes Nobles think twice the next time he brings it up the middle.
Well, he had a big hit in the first half, causing a fumble on Rashawn Miller. So the more that you can hit, especially getting into the later parts of the game, the more that he'll remember that. So this is a give to Miller. You can see the speed that he has out to the right side. He tries to get the corner and is able to get it just probably down to about the 27-yard line. There was an incidental collision on the sideline. Good thing that there was no penalty there, because there was no intent to try to hit him. But you're going to give him, once again, a problem we had in the first half for Providence was giving up big plays, and here we are seeing it in the second half.
Yeah, Miller's showing something that you can't teach there. He sets up that run. Goldsboro came and closed on the inside. Miller shifty, then cuts it back out and is able to get the edge around Goldsboro there and turn it into a huge gain. Good job by the officials. You referenced that. They could have called a late hit on that. We probably wouldn't have been happy, but it could have been called. But they did a good job, I think, of holding the flag there.
And there was no intent there, and that's the big thing. So straight up the middle, Nobles is just pushing the pile, going to give him another 6 yards. It's like each time he gets the ball, 5 yards, 6 yards, and then boom, 20 or 30-yard gain. And really, before that last run by Miller, they'd kept him in check with only 43 yards. He had over 500 yards coming in to tonight, so they'd done a good job with him. But then he rips off that 32-yard run. Now he's got 75 yards on the night.
Yeah, a couple of Eagles there on the bottom of the pile, look like Ian Smith and Jackson Dykes, number 77 for Providence.
So going under 10 minutes here, Slocomb with the first drive of the second half here in the third quarter, and spread out with 4 wide receivers. And you've got Rashawn Miller. He's going to take it, and once again just goes on the left side, sees it there on the left side, an easy stroll right into the touchdown, 22 yards, and that looked way, way too easy.
It really did. I saw both of our linebackers kind of got sucked in there and weren't able to fill that hole as he came around the left side. You got to make some adjustments there. I'm not exactly sure what they saw to pull them in as they did there, but great run by Miller, who finds the hole on the left side. His offensive line doing their job. Receivers on the outside as they're spread out doing their job of opening up for him.
Well, that's an 80-yard drive to start the second half, exactly what Slocomb wants to do. Here's the point after. It looks like it's good, and the lead now up to 23-0. And if that drives any indication of what we can see in the second half, Providence really needs to go back to the drawing board and come up with something defensively. And these are plays that are just going straight up the middle and making 4, 5, 6 plays, and then next play they just take it to the outside.
Yeah, this is gut check time. When you go into the halftime, you want to take something positive. You want to make the adjustments. Obviously, when you come out and this happens, you're going to find out what your team is made of. So I'm sure the coaches are going to try to get it to keep them motivated, keep them in this game. But let's see what we do on offense here, see if we can finally put some points on a Slocomb team that's given up a lot of points this year, even against Northside, who both everybody they've played have scored quite a few points on them. And I'm not sure how that's translating here. Geneva put a bunch of points on Slocomb. Northside put 20 plus on Slocomb. So we've got to get our rhythm here.
Absolutely. And down 23-0. The game is not out of hand yet, but that drive right there was probably the most disheartening drive the defense has had all year. Even being 1-2, it's the first team that's really just taking it down the field on him. And, we had talked about how they had done a good job on Rashawn Miller. He only had 2 carries here in the second half, but that's for 54 yards. So you can see how he has 500 yards rushing so far, because he's quick, and before you know it, he's got 15, 20, 25 yards. So we'll see what Slocomb's going to do here on the kickoff. Most of their kickoffs have been short, and Providence has had pretty good field position starting in the 30 or so, and this one's going to go out of bounds and look like one of your chip shots there, Corey, when you're looking too much at the flag and you take out a kid on the side. And I think that Providence is going to have pretty good field position here once again, but they've got to take advantage.
Yeah, the ball going out about the 34, 35-yard line. Let's see where they mark it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It almost looks like they're going to re-kick. Not quite sure. Providence kicked off from the 45. We had no reason. We don't know why that happened. And now looks like maybe there was an illegal motion or something like that on Slocomb before the kick. It almost looks like it's just a complete re-kick.
Well, we'll see if they try the same thing to try to get it to the corner.
Right. The last one was a nice direct kick out of bounds to the cheerleaders. Looks like he's lined up to do that once again. This one's a little bit more in the field of play and going to be taken at about the 25-yard line, 35, going to bounce out to the outside, get a good return, and Providence as good as you can hope for, starting at the 42-yard line. And once again, it's a short field in one sense. You got to take advantage.
Certainly do. This is an opportunity we got to take advantage of. That was Durden on the return, number 5. Made one really good move as he jumped left to get another 4 or 5 yards at the end of that run.
So a lot of guys kind of shuffling in and out. It looks like Christian Durden's going to start the second half at tailback. Jake Smith, quarterback. And it looks like we've got Goldsboro and Chris Durden in at the same time. Now we've spread out in a spread formation, something that you don't see very often from Providence. And kind of a little miscommunication, but it works for Jake Smith to get him about 8 yards there. It looks like he wanted somebody on his right, wasn't there, but still made good yardage.
Yeah, obviously some adjustments made at halftime. Want to come out and try to spread it out. Nothing fancy there. Spread it out. Let Jake use his speed and athleticism to take it up the middle there on a draw.
He had about 26 yards unofficially rushing in the first half, and Providence usually gets some good yardage from their quarterback, so that's no shock to anybody. But 8 yards there, very good run, really sets up a nice 2nd down and 2. That's an inside handoff to Christian Durden, and the center just overpowered there, and typical of the night we've seen so far. Looking at his 2nd down and 2, now you're looking down at 3rd down and 4.
That's Truman Matthews, number 19, with a great penetration for Slocomb there from his defensive end spot.
It looks like possibly as a penalty here. Let's see. It's a personal foul. Not quite sure what the personal foul was. I mean, there was a lot of celebrating, and I'm not sure if that was what it was, but I think Providence would take it. It was a negative play that turns into a positive play.
Yeah, and as a coach on the Slocomb side, that just drives you crazy. You have a player, you come down, you drive the ball, you score on 3 or 4 plays all the way 60-plus yards. Then you turn around, you have a player stop for a loss after really giving them good field position, and you just lose that and you go 15 yards the other way.
Yeah, Providence scores here. It's 23-7. Providence gets a stop, and it's starting to tighten up and become a game. It's one thing to be leading 23-0 offensively, doing what you want. It's another when it starts to tighten up just a little bit. So Providence given new life here. 1st down at about the 38-yard line. Christian Durden in the backfield. And it's going to be a run by Jake Smith, and he just winds his way through and takes a big hit. The hit's probably not quite as big as it seemed looking at it, but give them about 4 yards, and you take 4 yards each time.
Yeah, another run from that spread formation makes you wonder, what are we setting up here? We're going to see we're going to see a little fake handoff here. See Jake make a fake as if he's running, then pull up and throw it. That's number 3, Christopher Bashir's on the big hit for Slocomb.
So Jake Smith ran it 5 times in the first half. He's already run it 2 times here in the second half. We've yet to see a running back, which usually dominates the offense for Providence, and we'll see right here. Once again, and we've got a stoppage in play. Not quite sure.
Flag on the far side. I'm not sure what that was either, but it was about to be a big play, I do believe.
Right. So probably call illegal motion. against Providence, and the 4-yard gain on first down is negated, and it looks like it's going to be second down and 11.
Yeah, so not only do we go back to second 11 here, but that was, again, going to be a big play. Jake had plenty of running room there. Just can't have those kind of mistakes and expect to keep moving the chains and win ball games.
Well, it's absolutely execution, and you know that Coach Keith understands that. Calling a timeout this early in the third quarter to make sure everybody's on the same page here. This is a very, very big drive for Providence, not only tonight but in the year. So we'll take the timeout with Providence. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. 7:52 to go in the third quarter. Slocomb leading 23-0. Providence, coming off a penalty, has a second down and 11. They've been in the spread formation for every play so far in the second half. A lot of it has been a quarterback run, and once again, it's a run up the middle. Christian Durden taking it and falls forward to about the 36-yard line. That had a little bit more opportunity in it.
Yeah, a little confusion there, it looked like. I see after the play, 23 Goldsboro, who came in motion, is holding his hands up and looking towards the sideline like, what's going on? And it looked like Jake turned the wrong way, or maybe Durden went the wrong way. I'm not sure. But some miscommunication in the background that threw the timing off that play, and we still gained, as you said, 4 or 5 yards. So.
Right, and it's a third down and about 7. You feel like at this point they're going to go for it if they don't make it. Once again, Goldsboro in motion. The give is to Durden. This time he goes to the right side. He's got a good hole. It looks like he just stepped out of bounds at about the 30-yard line, so that's going to bring up a 4th down and 2. And once again, opportunity there and just bad luck.
Yeah. He got the end. Durden did. He got his momentum going, and when he gets those shoulders squared up, he's a tough runner to bring down. So a good run by Durden, a little longer, not a really good spot there, it looks like. I thought of course, we couldn't see exactly where he went out of bounds, but.
Right. And to the officials' credit, he was standing right there and looked down and see it. So now it's a 4th down and 2, and it's a huge drive. 1 and 2 have already lost an area game and certainly do not want to lose the second one. Looks like Jake Smith is going to go up the middle, and nothing doing right there. And once again, just very tentative and almost unsure, and going to turn the ball over on downs and give Slocomb the ball back with 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that was 26 Braylon Miller for Slocomb with a penetration, and again, something just off there in the execution, in the timing of things. A really big opportunity lost there.
And it really is kind of what we've seen most of the night is the execution when Providence has needed a play, has just not been able to get the play. Those pass plays in the first half where guys were open just couldn't quite get the ball there to them. 7 minutes to go. Slocomb with their second drive of the second half. Jalen Nobles once again going to get it, tries the right side, and makes another 4 yards or so. Providence doing a good job limiting him to just 4 on that play.
Yeah, closing that gap. They had a little hole there for a second. Looked like Harrison Mims along with Durden on the stop there to close him. But, a reasonable gain. Not bad. We'll take that from some of the things we've seen on some of the other runs from it.
What we've seen in the past from Slocomb here is that they keep running it kind of in the middle, and then the next play will be on the outside. So we'll see if this is a pass play or if this is a run to the outside. It's just the same play to Rashawn Miller, and you can see him breaking tackles and going down to just about the 40-yard line, 41-yard line, and give him 25 yards. And every run here in the second half has been 20-plus yards for him.
Yeah, there were 3, 4, maybe 5 arms on him at one time, different defenders from Providence, and he just ran straight through them with the momentum that he had built. And I believe that was Abe Chancellor with a touchdown saving tackle there. But
absolutely.
They're going. This is a 1-2 punch. Nobles, and then they go back to Miller and back and forth. So it's no secret.
No, and running the same play basically each time. And there's Nobles running the same play to the right and just kind of gashes through, gets himself another 4 yards. You can make a case that he's in motion before the ball snapped, but give him 4 yards on that.
Yeah, for register 38, Tate Thornell, number 3 from his defensive back spot. Both of them on the tackle there to bring down Nobles for a short gain.
And as we've talked about, Ford Register with over 40 tackles so far on the season and could be in double digits tonight. So we have the Heat timeout at about 6 minutes here. It's 5:58 to go in the third quarter. We'll take the timeout with the players. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. following the Heat timeout for the third quarter. We've got 5:58 to go in the third quarter. Slocomb with their second drive of the ball game, starting at their own 30-yard line, and after a couple of big runs, have got it down into Providence territory. And once again, it's just the same play to the outside, and this is Jalen Nobles getting a pretty big gain and then getting pushed out of bounds at about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, you see Nobles there again with his power or speed getting to the outside, and then his power resisting a tackler or two. A nice stiff arm there with a big play again.
And it's the epitome of playing under control. Not trying to do too much, just kind of picking his spots and getting down there and not trying to get a little bit too much, fumble the ball or anything like that. So Slocomb with a first down now at the 19-yard line of Providence, and this defense that had played pretty well in the first half is probably starting to get a little bit tired because these are two long drives to start the second half for Slocomb. And you have Noble's going to go try the outside once again, and one of the better tackles there by Providence going to throw him for a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, good job of stringing that out. And then number 10, Harrison Mims, really close, nice closing speed there to get Nobles from behind.
And Holland Harris almost had him even further in the backfield, but that helped to kind of string it out a little bit. So put Slocomb behind the chains at second down. Looks like they're going to give him a 2-yard loss, so second down and 12. And we'll see if Slocomb just does the same thing that they did before. Rashawn Miller in the backfield. You have Jalen Nobles in the right slot. Yep, same play. Just kind of try the middle, see what happens. And you can see that Miller able to get probably 6 yards on that and brings up a third down and long. He took a kind of a big hit there, too.
Yeah, 77 Jackson Dykes brought him down, but then Durden, number 5, comes from his safety spot and hits him. Nice hit there to finish him off.
And whatever the final outcome is, at least Jalen Nobles and Rashawn Miller will feel the defense a little bit. There's been some bigger hits, probably the biggest hits that Providence has had so far this year, and starting to come into their own a little bit. So it's third down and call it probably 7 here. And Jalen Noble's playing quarterback. He's just going to keep it himself, go straight up the middle, pushes the pile a little bit, and looks like he's got enough for the first down. And there was no hesitation there. And we've got the flag coming up. It's most likely players talking to each other. Now we have to figure out which side.
Yeah, giving it to the direct snap to Nobles there, and he just bulls his way through. I mean, his athleticism, his strength. We've got a tired defense. You know, we've got a lot of guys playing both ways on the line and even our linebackers and then our secondary as well.
So we'll see what the call is here. He got the first down. It is a dead ball, personal foul, and it's going to go against Providence. And you never want to see any of these personal fouls, but if there is any solace to it, the ball's at the 7 anyway. So it's not really going to give up that much real estate.
Yeah, not really sure inside of the pile what happened there. I don't know that anybody saw it other than the ref who threw the flag. Not sure what happened, but not what you want to see. That's not the representation we want to put forth for our team, our school. But it got to be frustrating when you're having the ball just really rammed down your throat over and over.
Absolutely, and it's the same play really over and over. And my guess is the official heard something more than he saw something on that play. 3:42 to go in the third quarter, and it looks like Nobles is staying in as the quarterback. You can't really call it Wildcat quarterback because he has played quite a bit of quarterback, and it looks like it's a very, very strong line to the right. And not sure if that was a complete set there by Slocomb and possibly them calling timeout here. No, it looks like Providence is going to call timeout. It was a different set than we have seen tonight, so Providence calling their second timeout of the third quarter, and we'll take the timeout with them on the Scenic Sports Network. So it's first and goal here with 3:40 to go in the third quarter for Slocomb. Second drive of the second half, and both drives so far for Slocomb here in the second half have just been run right down the field. We've got Thomas back in at quarterback, and he's just going to hand it to Nobles, who gets crashed on a little bit, and he will not get the touchdown, and in fact possibly lose a yard there. So the last couple of times he's had the ball, Providence has been up to the task and thrown him for a loss.
Yeah, really good penetration there by 38 for redshirt fixture. He couldn't quite make the tackle, and I couldn't tell from this angle who did make the tackle, but there were several Eagles who had good penetration on that play.
He's coming up on 20 carries unofficially on the night, and from the high school ranks, that's a lot of carries. The clock's winding down to 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. It is second down and goal from the 5-yard line, and Noble's now in at quarterback again. And Miller just goes to his left just a little bit and runs right up the middle. Nobles does, no hesitation. And it's his second touchdown, third touchdown of the night. And the lead's pushed up to 29-0.
Yeah, again, the big hole created there by the Slocomb offensive line. And Miller getting a little momentum, and that's all it takes for he and Nobles to gain 5-10 yards at a time.
Yeah, that's his second rushing touchdown of the night, and Slocomb in for the extra point to try to push it to 30-0. And at this point, very, very difficult for Providence to come back from a hole this deep. And there's the extra point, and probably the best-looking extra point of the night for him. And now it's 30-0, Slocomb, 2:52 to go, and I would say at this point for Providence, it needs to put, we've been saying it all night, needs to put play after play together, but you got to start to put some drives together just for the pride of the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously an opportunity to see who really wants it. As you're a coach and you're watching the film tomorrow and the other days in the upcoming week, you want to see who gives it their all at this stage, because it's easy to lay down right now. I mean, you know, when you've been pounded on both sides of the ball, we got the guys again that are playing both ways, that are tired, that are worn out mentally, but you want somebody to step up right here. We need some leadership on this team. We've lost a lot of leaders over the last 2 years, lost a lot of good football players over the last 2 years, and you need somebody to step up in a time like this when you're really down. Also, it's a chance for us on offense to work on some things maybe that we wouldn't try, that we didn't think we were going to try in this game, which is a region game that you really want to win. And we got to find out what else can we do, because right now what we've done or tried to do on offense, we've not been consistent. We've not executed enough. So we need to try something different as we're doing with the spread here. We'll see if they come back out in the spread. We'll see if we try to throw the ball a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to throw it too many times and stop the clock and make this game any longer. But at the same time, you need to work on some things.
Absolutely work on some things. And Providence has an off week next week before they have a 3 road game stretch. So you want to get some positives in this second half going into that bye week, and you're able to kind of clean up some things, maybe get some guys healthy, because there are 2 or 3 guys that would play on a regular rotation who aren't playing tonight. And offensively, they just have not been crisp all year except for the north side game, and they've just got to get back to being able to replicate what they did that night. Here we go with the kickoff once again, and same kickoff we've seen the whole time. And Providence gets it back up to about the 39-yard line, takes a big hit, and Providence will start there at the 39-yard line, and a Providence player shaken up.
Yeah, I believe that's 3. Tate Thornell for Providence is down, and this doesn't look like just a cramp. Looks like he's in a tremendous amount of pain.
Yeah, he was on the run back there and took a little bit of a big hit. It's never good when you have 2 or 3 guys hanging on you and not able to go down before somebody comes in and takes a hit. We don't want to speculate on anything, but there is a break in the action right here with 2:45 to go in the third quarter. Providence with their second opportunity with the ball. We're going to take the timeout, this injury timeout. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Well, Tate Thornell was able to walk off the field under his own power, which is a good sign. So first down and 10 at the 38-yard line, 2:45 to go in the third quarter, and it's a give on the outside. A good move by Gus Goldsboro. He kind of spins around, gets another couple of yards, and give him 7 on that play.
That's what you want to see out of your senior. Good run there. A lot of effort, extra effort, getting an extra 3 or 4 yards after contact there. Good cutback by Gus, and he finished that run really strong.
Yeah, unofficially I had him at 33 yards in the first half, splitting time with Christian Durden there in the backfield. But what you want to do is show the coaches that even though you're down, you're still running hard, you're still playing hard. He's a couple steps there from breaking that for a long one. Second down and 4. Goldsboro's still in there. He's going to get it once again, going to try the right side once again. tries to get around a player, can't quite, but it gets it another 2 yards, 3 yards, so make it down 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, nice tackling there by Slocomb. Give their DBs credit coming up and closing quickly and with some authority to stop Goldsboro. I thought he was going to break that one for a little extra yardage, but it's just short of the first down yardage marker. So big play right here on 3rd and short.
Yeah, Slocomb has had some good pursuits when the ball's been strung out to the outside. So it's 3rd down and 1 at the 48-yard line. More the traditional set we're used to seeing. And Jake Smith is going to keep it and has a host of players around him and is not able to get to the outside.
That's going to be a flag.
And was thrown out of bounds
not.
Tackled once again out of bounds. But these officials are not calling any of these that are out of bounds. And Providence has had a couple on their end that hasn't been called. So you can say that they've been pretty good here. So it's 4th down and 3, 30-0. With 1:19 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and it looks like that Providence is going to go for it.
Well, we talked about the timing, the execution, but when you've got players that quickly in the offensive backfield, it's hard to execute.
And when Providence has needed a play and needed an execution, it hasn't been there tonight. So we'll see here, 4th down and 3. Jake's going to go back to pass. He's got a guy open and is able to get it to him. And makes another move, gets down the sideline and gets pushed out of bounds at about the 34-yard line, make it the 35-yard line. Probably the best pass play of the year so far, and give them just about 25 yards on that play.
Yeah, really good job there by Jake Smith of standing in the pocket and delivering the ball with pressure in his face. He got hit really hard that play after he released the ball, but got it to Abe Chancellor. Abe does his thing, got a lot of speed obviously on the outside, and Abe shows some moves there for, as you said, probably our best pass play of the year.
That was a 15-yard gain, setting up a 1st down in Slocomb territory. A give on the inside, and a really good move there by Gus Goldsboro. And again, give him about 7 yards. And we said that they really need to bear down here, and this is a drive where we've seen them bearing down.
Certainly, as you referenced, the cutback by Goldsboro there, it's meant to go the outside. It looked like he saw the opening down the seam. He cuts it back to the left and makes a very positive play there on 1st down.
This will probably be the last play of the 3rd quarter, a 3rd quarter where we've seen Slocomb score 2 times and Providence turn it over on downs. It's a 2nd down and 4. It's a quarterback keeper. Can he get to the corner? He does get to the corner, gets pushed out of bounds, and as sure as I said it was the last play of the 3rd quarter, he gets pushed out of bounds with 19 seconds to go. But let's see if they're going to give him a 1st down.
I believe he's short a few yards.
So I think that they're going to measure, so the chains have to come from all the way on the other end of the field. And that was a run there where Jake looked like he was kind of hemmed in, was able to kind of scoot through a few and make more yards than it looked like he was going to have.
He did. I thought he was actually pushed out of bounds a little sooner than he was, and I guess he walked that line very nicely, and it is going to be very close after all. I have to bring the chains off from the opposite side of the field.
Not sure if they're going to bring the chains in or if they're going to give the old laser pointer there and look at it. I'm not quite sure.
Looks like they're using the headset to communicate from one side to the other. And here come the chains.
Okay. This has been a 3rd quarter that seems like it's lasted an hour and a half. And this is only the 4th possession by both teams. We'll take a look here and see if Providence got the 1st down. Really need a 1st down here. They've had trouble on 3rd and short, and you certainly don't want to have that again. Here's a stretch, and it is a 1st down. So Providence with one of the better drives of the night here at the end of the 3rd quarter. So they'll have a 1st down and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, as you said, 3rd and short has been our nemesis tonight. I'm glad we didn't have to face that. Good to see us get that 1st down there. Good effort by Jake to get the ball across the 1st down marker. And as you said, drawing to the end of the 3rd quarter here.
So here we go, the clock running. 1st and 10. Gus Goldsboro in the backfield. He'll get the ball once again, sees a hole, and able to bounce off a tackler and give him another 7 yards. The hardest running that we've seen from him so far tonight. And looks like there's a flag on the play. And this is what if this is on Providence, this is what we've seen all night. As you start to see some positives, then you get a negative in. Let's see what they're going to call. A personal foul on Slocomb, which is good news for Providence. So that takes what would have been a 2nd down and 7 or 2nd down and 8 to a 1st and possibly 1st and goal.
Yeah, it looked like Coach Keith communicating with some of our players was a little unhappy, so I thought the flag was going against us as well, but we'll take that. That'll move us, I guess, half the distance and get us inside the 10.
And each time I say it's the last play of the 3rd quarter, something else happens. and so it looks like we're going to have a 1st and goal, Providence at the 9-yard line. By far the best drive of the night for Providence. They had one other one, but was able to not able to overcome a 3rd and short and a 4th and short.
Yeah, Gus started this drive with a great, really hard run, and you see it again there. He really earned that yardage as well, running really hard, taking the ball right up the middle.
He's going to get it up the middle one more time, dragging a tackler down to the 5, keep pushing the pile down to the 4-yard line, and takes what could have been a 1-yard gain into a 4-yard gain. And as we start the 4th quarter, Providence will have 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. So we're going to.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier Showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
At Enterprise State, we believe college is for everyone who wants a path to something better. And we're Alabama's fastest growing community college because we're redefining what college can be. More affordable, more accessible, more of the programs you need to find a high-paying job or fast forward the career you've already started. Whether you come for advanced technical training or a solid academic foundation, you'll leave with the tools it takes to make your future happen faster. Learn more and get moving today.
Your #1 source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Starting the 4th quarter here at Providence Christian High School, 30-0 Slocomb with the lead, but Providence knocking on the door with a 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line. By far the best drive of the night. Gus Goldsboro still in there, and he's in motion. He's going to take the pitch. He's got a host of blockers out there. He's going to get to the corner, dives into the end zone for a spectacular 5-yard touchdown, and Providence is on the board.
What a great effort there by Goldsboro. Again, he started the drive with a really hard run, only 5 or 6, 7 yards, and he finishes it here with a phenomenal touchdown run around the left side. Good blocking there by the line. Even number 16, John Jeter, who serves as our kicker, had a really good block there at the goal line to help Gus get in.
Yeah, I've noticed John playing more here in the second half and got one of the good blocks there. And I thought he was going to really be able to go in easily. And the defensive back kind of shot through there. Gus was able to see him and dive in for the end zone, one of those spectacular ones that got the crowd back into it. And so now Providence going to go for 2, down 30-6. Then you've got Gus Goldsboro still in there, so it was the offense that was just in there. Snap comes, and it's a quick pitch out to Goldsboro. Looks like he's got a host, and he walks right in. Kind of what we thought was going to happen on the touchdown. It was a little bit closer, but give him 2 points. And just like that, Providence cuts the lead down to 30-8.
Yeah, really nice drive. As we said at the beginning there, you really want to see what your team's made up when they're down 30-0 after they've been physically dominated for 2 drives in a row. And there, it's great to see the Eagles come back there with some authority and finish that drive. Execution. We executed. We didn't give the ball away. We didn't have the penalties. We played Providence football there. Good to see.
and probably the best drive we've seen since the Northside game, because a couple of the drives were a little bit clunky last week at Wicksburg, even though they scored a couple of times, and that was back to Providence football there. So could have something going here. They've got to stop Slocomb. Have not had an answer for Slocomb here in the second half. Between Nobles and Miller, they've been able to kind of do what they want here in the second half, and the defense now has to mimic the offense and really bear down.
Yeah, you want to see that same effort coming from our defensive line, our linebackers getting after them to try to shut these two running backs down, which obviously is a tall task. I mean, you're dealing with two players here. Obviously, they're only sophomores, but are college level, appear to be college level players in the backfield from Slocomb.
Almost at worst small college, but you've got guys that have the ability to play at the next level. So if I'm going to play coach here, I don't think that I'm going to onside kick it. Obviously, Slocomb looking for that right now and trying to get into a position. I think I would kick it deep. This is also one, Corey, that sometimes I think about. There's all that land right there between the 20 and the 30 to kind of quickly kind of pooch it down there and see if you can kind of kill it and see if you can get one of your guys down there and get on top of it. So they are going to go with the onside kick, and it goes straight to Slocomb. They're able to get on top of it, and they'll start the third drive of the second half at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, nice job there by the Slocomb hands team to cover that one up. Had two or three guys right around him, though. If he bobbles that just a little bit, we've got a chance at it.
But it went right to him. He was able to secure it. I'll tell you, on the onside kick, and I'm not saying that you could do this, but something that you could practice, I like the quick kick on a line at the player. Just really quick and see if that would work, because you've got to hope for the good bounce there, and most of the time you don't get it. So here is Slocomb, man in the middle. We see he's going to get the ball there, and he strings it out a little bit to the right side in just about a 2-yard gain. And with it being 30-8, we're seeing a couple of players in now for Slocomb that haven't rushed the ball yet.
Yeah, that was Christopher Brashears, who's had a couple of nice plays on offense and defense tonight. But the tackle there by 24, Jackson Tate for Providence. A good lick by Jackson.
And like we've said, the Providence defense has been hitting tonight, sort of unlike what we've seen through the first 3 weeks before tonight. So we've got Jalen Nobles in at quarterback here, and he's got Rashawn Miller, and he's done nothing but run the ball each time he's had it. And here he just runs right over a Providence player, and he's going to walk in for a 45-yard touchdown. We do have a flag on the play, and it looks like the official is already talking to the Slocomb player.
Yeah, that hole was almost too big. It was almost like what happened there for it to be that big, and I think they're going to get called for a hold as if Nobles needs any assistance.
An illegal block in the back. At least if he was going to block him in the back, he could block him in the back into Nobles when he's running by. But either way, that's going to negate a 45-yard touchdown run by Jalen Nobles and back Slocomb up for their second down. It was 2nd and 8, so let's see what they're going to. My guess it's going to be 2nd down and 13. They take it back 10 yards, and so it'll be 2nd down for Slocomb. And this is where Providence, once again, the defense, you've been given a gift here. So take advantage of it and try to stop them and keep just, getting that momentum. Slocomb once again going to the move with Jalen Nobles at quarterback. He's kept it every time to this point, doing it once again, just going to try the right side and able to get maybe 3 yards, 4 yards to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, not sure about that call. I mean, your running back just ran it on a 50 to 60-yard sprint, and then you turn around and give it to him right after that again. He's probably a little winded.
Well, you don't want to question things from up here, but it's 30-8, and you're having your star running back running the ball.
38 for register. A nice tackle there. Got him low, held on, brought him down. Well,
absolutely.
Just a textbook there.
And he's on pace for 100 tackles this year, and played very well at the linebacker position. He and Harrison Mims both playing very well.
And both sophomores.
So here we have Jalen Nobles once again, and he holds it and kind of nonchalantly goes over to the left side and is able to pull his way down pretty close to a 1st down. we'll see where they mark it, and not really doing anything fancy, just kind of running it straight up.
No, getting right behind his blockers, letting them lead the way, and it is going to be a first down. Went out right at the marker, and the official gives him the spot, and Slocomb moving the chains again.
I've got him coming up on 30 carries. And again, you just want to question up 30-8. How many more times do you want him to carry the ball? But he's staying in there at quarterback. And as we've said, every time he's been in this position, there's movement there by Miller. No call, but
nice.
He is knocked down for about a 1-yard gain. It's the first time in that formation that we've seen Nobles hand off the ball, but that was very good there by Providence.
Yeah, really good pursuit there by Harrison Mims and Gus Goldsboro. Really nice tackle, and that's what you want to see. I mean, at this point, when you've got kids who are, we're tired. Obviously Goldsboro playing both ways. Harrison doing a good job at linebacker, having to chase these guys all night, but good effort there to bring down Miller for a short gain.
Absolutely, just build on it, and they've done a decent job on Miller outside of about 4 carries. You know, he's not going to have the night that he's had most of the other nights. Tonight, that'll be Jalen Nobles, who is still in at quarterback. The give is once again, he keeps it. It's going to go around the right side. It's got a hole and can't drag him down by his jersey. He's going to take it in for the touchdown, give him 39 yards on the touchdown, and Slocomb once again on the board.
Yeah, a little wrinkle there, as you said. He's been running it most of the time. Handed to Miller a play or two ago, and then he fakes it this time. Really has an opening. Durden comes in from his safety position, tries to make the play, kind of took a bad angle, tried to get the jersey, but couldn't quite hold on to the 215-pound Nobles.
It's also a situation to where the defensive line is just not able to take advantage of anything on the offensive line. And when they do kind of set the edge a little bit, able to cut back inside, and there's no linebacker or defensive tackle there. So trying to add the 37th point on for the night. There's the kick, and it got over by about 8 inches, but it still counts. 37-8, under 9 minutes to go now in the fourth quarter. And Providence, which had a very promising drive last time out. At this point, I know the fans are disappointed that it looks like it's going to be a loss for Providence, but there's a lot that you can do that will help you for the next couple of weeks.
We are. I see a lot of guys on the defensive side, especially some younger guys that are getting some snaps that haven't been due to some injuries. And, you know, that can only be a good thing for the long run. Obviously, we're down 29 points here. That's not what you what you want. But at the same time, we're getting some experience for some of these guys because, again, we're replacing a lot of guys from the last couple of years, still in that process, still growing as a team. And the only thing that's going to help that is game reps. I mean, you can practice. I'm not knocking practice. You got to do it. But until you get in the game and you see the speed in the game, for example, I'm looking at Durden here now. He's on the kickoff return team. Durden looks a lot better tonight at safety than I've seen him in the earlier games because he's getting more comfortable. He's a sophomore. He's really starting to hit some folks and close in and show what he's capable of, but it's because he's getting more comfortable back there.
He also started the game with the brace on his leg, and I'm noticing for the first time it looks like he does not have the brace on his leg. That may have just freed him a little bit mentally too, that when you feel that it can kind of, you're inhibiting yourself, and we'll see if that helps. 8:57 to go here in the game, 37-8 Slocomb. Kicking off. Most of the kickoffs we've seen have been at about the 30-yard line or so. We'll see if he continues to go on. Same thing. It just bounces right up, and Providence able to get it up to about the 40-yard line. And if there's anything that you can say about tonight is that they've had good field position and just haven't been able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's true. We got it again, as you just referenced, and let's see if we can put together another drive like we did last time. A little better execution, hard running, and continue to try to find some silver linings here tonight.
Gus Goldsboro looks like is staying in at running back, so this will be 2 straight series for him at the running back position, and we'll see. Looks like Providence coming out in their traditional set, but they do have 2 wide receivers over here to the left. The snap going to be a pass. Jake Smith's going to go up, going to go down the field, and not sure who was going to get that one. It looked like it could go to Reed Linder, number 22. That was about 4 yards over his head, and brings up a 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I believe that was actually intended for Abe, and he broke his route off. I don't know if he got hung up, I'm not real sure, but I think it was supposed to be a deep flag to him, and it looked like he broke the route off. He and Linder were kind of looking at each other after the play, trying to figure out what happened, but Jake put some air under that ball.
He did, and one of the better passes that he's thrown this year. We've seen some interceptions and some other things in the passing game, just not quite clicking yet. 2nd down and 10, following the incomplete pass. It's going to be the traditional give to Gus. He goes up the middle, pushes the pile, and goes up to just about, give him about 3 yards. And you had a host of tacklers in there on him, and a good strong run, but it brings up a 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, as well as we run the ball typically, and as well as we execute our blocking scheme, Slocomb has really been able to have penetration all night long. They've really controlled the line of scrimmage, not just on the defensive side, offensive side too, but that penetration has thrown our rhythm off quite a bit all night.
Gus coming up on 70 yards rushing on the night, and used to seeing him have a little bit more yards than that. And so it's going to be here. Jake Smith's going to keep it, going to try to get to the corner and see if he can get to the corner. He does not, and anytime that you slow down like that, that's not typically going to work out well for you, and now brings up a 4th down and at least 4th down and 8, so he lost 2 on that.
Yeah, that's Colin Thomas, the quarterback, along with Dawson Hill on the stop there. And Jake has got great speed. Thought he was going to get to be able to the edge there, but they were able to. Slocomb's got great speed, team speed, obviously. They were able to string it out. He tried to cut it back, as you said, just didn't work out there.
So the play clock under 10, it looks like going to either take a timeout or take the penalty here. They're going to take the delay a game penalty, so probably going to kick it and just wanted some clock to run there.
Yeah, Jake also being the punter as he ran the ball there. I guess he just didn't have time to get up and get set there without having to rush too much, and you don't want a bad snap in this situation.
No, absolutely not. Saw a couple of bad snaps last week at Wicksburg, and play clock has been started once again, and it's going to be 4th down and 14.
Brings the ball back to the Providence 36, number 12.
And the good news is Miller or Nobles are not back for this punt. And a call for a fair catch there at the 24-yard line, and Slocomb will come back out for their 5th drive of the second half from their own 25-yard line with 7:04 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, really nice punt there by Jake. Distance-wise and hang time-wise, we had the coverage down there and forced a fair catch call.
He is a good punter, and if you remember before being ejected in the Rehoboth game, he had a really nice punt that backed Rehoboth back up inside the 5. Looking over on the Slocomb side, you can start to see some really white jerseys out there, so getting some of their other younger players in to get an opportunity to get some experience, and the same thing on the Providence defense, seeing some players getting in here in the 4th quarter to get an opportunity.
Yeah, something you want to see from both sides. I mean, these guys put in the practice, they put in the sweat, they hold the tackling dummies a lot of time and really pay the price, so good to see them get some action.
But Colin Thomas is still in there, and he looks like, well, that's not him, but it's going to be a long 75-yard touchdown by number 2. There is a penalty coming up here on the sideline, but number 2 there for Slocomb comes in, and Brody Campbell, who had a catch earlier, I think, or a defensive play earlier, went 75 yards, but there is a penalty flag here on the sideline, and we'll see what happened.
Yeah, Campbell's a really good athlete. He's had 7 tackles last week and an INT on defense, but here he shows what he can do with a ball in his hands.
Could be a sideline warning, possibly. I did see a Providence player thrown to the ground.
There's 2 flags, though, it looks like, right?
I did see a Providence player thrown to the ground, so we'll see. Illegal block in the back. And there's also a dead ball, unsportsmanlike on Providence. Not quite sure what that is, especially right there, unless it's something on the sideline. So not sure how this will kind of work out. We need our own official. You know, the big guys can bring in their official to kind of sort this out. So my guess is you would take it back 10 yards on the illegal block from where that was, and then you'd go forward 15 yards for the unsportsmanlike.
I think you're right. They did mark off, it looks like, the 10 yards, and here we see the 15 being marked off now.
Yeah.
Back on the Red Top offense. Second penalty will be an unsportsmanlike conduct call on the Eagle defense.
So that'll give Slocomb the ball down at the 19-yard line. So take away the long 75-yard touchdown there by Brody Campbell, who's in at quarterback, and sets up Slocomb first down and 10 at the 19.
Assessing each penalty, the Red Tops will have it first down and 10 yards to go. Ball resting at the Eagle 19-yard line.
So Campbell will take the snap. It gives the ball to Braylon Miller, who goes over in the middle and give him about 5 yards.
Number 26, Braylon Miller.
Yeah, Braylon is a 10th grader. I'm not sure if he's any relation to Rayshawn or not, but number 2 there, as you referenced, Brody Campbell playing quarter. He is the backup quarterback in now for Slocomb.
You know, if you look at this Slocomb roster, you have to really be encouraged if you're a Slocomb fan, because a lot of the guys that are playing are underclassmen. So it's a team that you're going to have to deal with for another couple of years.
It certainly looks like that sophomore class is really, really strong.
So clock running coming up on 6 minutes. It is a second down and 7. And number 17 is going to get it, tries the outside, and not quite the success that Miller and Nobles have had, and he is stacked up and going to give him about a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, I saw a couple of Eagles on the tackle there, including number 13, looked like William Shipman for the Eagles.
That was Michael Ward there, number 17, 5'6", 165-pound sophomore. And we have a stoppage in play. Looks like a heat stoppage once again with 5:55 to go. We're going to take that timeout with the guys. 37-8, Slocomb leading with 5:55 to go in the game. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network. Third and 6 for Slocomb as we come back here to live action, and not going to get the first down, and we'll see. It looks like they'll probably go for a field goal here and try to tack on a few more points as the clock winds down with 5.5 to go.
It was quite a pile there on that tackle. I'm not sure who exactly came out at the bottom for Providence, but a good stop and another field goal attempt here from Slocomb.
So here we go, going to be a 30-yard field goal. The last extra point barely got over, so we'll see what kind of leg he's got on this one. And it's a tough snap, and going to run with it. Going to see if he can get to the corner. Pretty decent, and it's at Brody Campbell. And it looks like he's going to have, it'll be close to the first down. And once again, like we talked about, you see that athletic ability, able to make something out of nothing, gets a first down, and now Slocomb's got a first and goal at the 1.
Yeah, kind of a busted play turned into something positive, I guess, for them. But, you know, really good lick there by number 28, Luke McClurkin, for the Eagles. He really finished him off nicely there.
And again, big hits that we're seeing from the defense that we haven't seen in the first few weeks here. And but it works out for Slocomb's favor, and it's hard to beat athleticism. It's really hard to beat athleticism, and Slocomb's got a lot of it. So here we go with Campbell in the backfield and Braylon Miller in the backfield. And it is a give to Miller. That was a really slow-moving play on purpose, but it worked out right up the middle for a touchdown. 5 minutes to go, and now Slocomb's 43-8.
Yeah, Miller designed to go to the left, didn't have it there, cut back against the grain, and really made it look easy after that. No backside pursuit for the Eagles there.
And it's one thing if you're Slocomb that you're encouraged that your second team offense is able to take the ball down and score. And this is also something for the second team and third team Providence defense to be able to see what it's like to be out there on the field. So here we go. We'll see. And the snap once again a little bit tough. Better kick. It is good. And it is a 44-8 score with still 5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, low snap there. Nice job by the holder of getting that down. And as you said, this kicker's gotten better as the game went along. That first kick was pretty poor, but he's made several now.
So a rough night for Providence. and they're going to fall to 1-3. They do have a bye week next week before they go on the road for 3 straight. Elba, Opp, and then back in Dothan, but is still on the road against Houston Academy. And the schedule gets a little more favorable for them, but already losing 2 area games puts them, really behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, certainly in a hole now. I've got to use this time, the off week, to get healthy, work on some things, obviously, the execution, work on some of the details to make sure that we improve between now and that next game. And, we've got to stretch 2 out of the next 3 region games. And you can go 0-4, 1-3, or you can be 2-2 when you come out of that. And, we certainly have the ability to do that. Opp is a very tough team. There's no question. They're going to be a big test. But if we can get this ship riding, maybe we'll have a chance against them.
Well, I think at this point you just want to look at it week to week. Let's win next week, and next week let's win the following week. So here we go with the 100th kickoff for Slocomb tonight, and by far the best kick that he's had, and it's bouncing around, and Providence able to fall on the ball at the 6-yard line. It was a good decision to get the ball, may not have been the best decision to fall down on it, but either way, that's where Providence starts with 5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, that was mishandled. Obviously, a little kick there, end over end, with a big hop, and mishandled by us. And that's something else you got to take to the film room and work on and say, you can't do that. It can't do that.
And it's really turned into one of those nights, too. Everything seems to be working for Slocomb, and Providence has been a struggle outside of that one drive where they were able to take it straight down the field. It was ones versus ones on that drive. But since then have not been able to get much going. So there's a hole right there for Christian Durden, I think. And
that is Durden.
As he's going to take off, going to try to get a 90-plus yard touchdown, see if he's got enough gas there. And he does, takes it all the way down for the touchdown, give him 93-yard touchdown, and at least get some spark there into the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what you want to see. We saw Goldsboro on a drive a minute ago continue to give all he had, and you see Durden here. Good job by the offensive line, obviously springing him. But then I thought the kid from Slocomb was going to chase him down at one point, but Durden kicked it in and finished off that great run.
Little things. Now it's, their offense against a second-team defense, but that's the same thing that Slocomb did on their first play when Brody Campbell came in and went 75 yards. And if you have those opportunities, you got to take advantage of it. That puts Durden up over 120 yards unofficially on the night, by far the top rusher for Providence. They're going to go for 2 once again, and it's 44-14, trying to get it to 44-16. Durden is still in there to the left of Jake Smith. He gives it to him inside. He's hit at the 2, keeps surging. I can't tell if he made it over or not.
I don't think he did make it. They're waving it off.
Not sure if he was able to even put the ball over the goal line. But either way, can't take away that 93-yard run that electrified the crowd. And 44-14, and probably the last thing the Providence defense wanted to see was a one-play drive.
No question. You see Durden coming off very slow. He's got to be tired. He's played a great game on defense, coming in on offense and running it that far. You don't ever want your player to walk off the field, but when he just ran a 95-yard touchdown, he's got a pretty good excuse. So he looks pretty gassed.
Absolutely, and what we had talked about, that we saw that it looked like he took his brace off, and as he's coming over, got just a slight limp to him, but that's probably more from just being so tired. And as we've said, he's got a forced fumble tonight on defense and a couple of big hits, so he's had himself a good game. So the game that seems like it'll never end. It's 4:49 still to go in the game. 44-14, Slocomb with the lead, and Providence kicking off, and most of their kickoffs have been of the squib variety, and we wouldn't expect anything less. They did try an onside kick earlier, and that was unsuccessful, so we'll see what they're going to come up with here. And it does look like the first team for Slocomb, hands team, is in. We see Jalen Nobles and Rashawn Miller are in the game, and see Colin Thomas is in the game, probably fully expecting it to be an onside kick. Here comes John Jeter up with the kick, and it's just going to be a deep one, and Slocomb downs it at the 7-yard line, taking no chances there, and Slocomb will start at their own 7-yard line with 4:47 to go in the game.
McLaughlin takes the kick to his own 7-yard line. Red Tops will have it.
And it does look like it's a host of second and third team players for Providence, and I'm sure the same for Slocomb, getting good game experience. And as we've talked about before, these guys on both sides work hard in the weight room and put an effort. Wednesdays for Providence are 5:30 practices. When it was really hot, they had to practice at 5:30 in the morning before school. That's not easy to run home, shower, and then get back in for school. So all that paying off for these guys, getting a chance to get some snaps.
Yeah, good to see.
So Brody Campbell in at quarterback. He's been nothing short of Lamar Jackson the times that he's had it, and it's a late handoff, and the defensive line doing a good job there stacking things up for no gain.
Yeah, several Eagles on the tackle there. Hard to see exactly who all was involved in that. I do see 53. That's Tyler Wilkes involved in that tackle along with several others.
It looks like there was a penalty there. I couldn't quite tell if it was a holding or not. That happens sometimes too, as we talk about getting into game speed and things like that. Sometimes a guy gets past you a little bit quicker, and when that happens, you tend to put your hand out and hold them. So they called it illegal motion on that one. So moving the ball back from the 7 to the 4.
Penalty will go against the Red Top offense. Illegal formation. At the distance penalty brings the ball inside the 5.
Looks
See,
like
30, Trey Douglas for Providence, who's playing now. He's actually been playing a pretty good bit already tonight in a fill-in role because of some injuries. He's a sophomore. Again, several 10th graders for Providence getting quite a bit of playing time.
yeah, you want to see them get that game experience because they will be. It looks like we have I think a timeout now by Slocomb, and if we couldn't extend the game any further, we have a timeout here with 4.5 to go. We'll take the timeout with the teams, and we'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes on the Scenic Sports Network.
Yeah. This one's getting close.
Coming off a Slocomb timeout, 4.5 to go in the fourth quarter, 44-14 Slocomb. Following a penalty, it's first down and 14 from the 4-yard line. Going with the long count here, and it's stringing out the running back, and he's met right there at the 4-yard line, and that second and third team defense stacking him up there at the line.
Yeah, good job there of clogging it up there. It looked like 16 John Jeter and a couple of other Eagles on the stop there.
And sometimes when you talk about second and third team, you think about younger guys, but John Jeter is a senior, really putting in the work, a great kicker, and it's nice that he's getting a chance to get some snaps in at linebacker. I know he's really wanted to play a lot on defense when getting a chance to.
Yeah, and he's played some meaningful snaps too, somewhere earlier tonight, giving those guys a break.
Second down and 13 from the 4-yard line. Again, it's a handoff and a nice hit right there at about the 3-yard line, and going to bring up a 3rd and long.
I believe that was Jeter again, number 16, with a, as you described, nice hit on the Slocomb running back.
I also think that that was Luke McClurkin as well in there, and so his name's been called a couple of times tonight. So excited for the McClurkin family to get a chance to see that. So 3rd down and 13 to go. Expecting just another handoff right up the middle. Slocomb's not going to really be in too much of a hurry. Want to get this clock running and get out of here. 3rd down and 13, and it is just a little play over and close to a safety, and knocked him back all the way down to the 1-yard line. So the defensive line really taking advantage of the second team offensive line, and a really good series there for the backups.
That was 56 Ethan Holland, who's a sophomore with really good penetration and a great tackle there.
And so it's going to be 4th down, going to be a punting situation, and not going to have as much real estate as you normally do there. Punting it from the 2-yard line, punter's going to be way back, and Providence should get some pretty decent field position for that second team to get a chance to get one more drive going.
Yeah, let's see if we're going to drop somebody deep and who it'll be.
Yeah, it seems just a lot of shuffling in and out, and Slocomb just goes ahead and lets the clock run out and go for the 2-yard line to the 1-yard line. The punter will question that in the film next week on Why did you shorten the field even more for him?
Yeah, he's standing on the back of that line at the end zone. That's not a comfortable place to be, certainly for a punter.
Those are always good shots in those pro and college games when you see their heels 4 or 5 inches right off the bat. And so that's what we have here as well. And Colin Thomas, the starting quarterback who is their punter, is in to punt here, and I assume he's going to punt it as quick as he can. And it's got some good height on it and hits at the 30. He's done a good job, exactly what he did in the first half when he had one of his punts. Got some good roll there, as good as you can expect there. 50-yard punt, as we thought in the first half about a 50-yard punt, so got a good average going. So 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go, and we've got the Providence offense coming back onto the field. It looks like Christian Durden, coming off that 93-yard run, is going back out there as well. There is a few backups that are coming in. Providence, wants to be able to put this drive together as well. It doesn't matter that their second team go out, execute, do your job, and go into the bye week knowing that the last couple times you had the ball, you had success.
No question. These guys get an opportunity on offense here, and we'll see. I see a few numbers, as you referenced, some new guys, but here Jake Smith's going back in the game now.
Yeah, it looks like Durden is coming out. And we still have Jake Smith in at quarterback. Inside handoff, a nice hole there, about 7 yards, and looks like Rylan Banner.
Yeah, a freshman there. Really a little burst by Banner there, number 15. Good to see him getting a carry, and offensive line obviously opening up the hole there for Rylan.
So give him 4 yards on the carry, and we have some offensive linemen being shuffled out as well, and play clock under 20 here, and just got a lot of personnel coming in and out, and not quite sure what we're going to see here with under 7 seconds to go on the play clock. Minute and a half to go in the game. And so then we call a timeout. Providence does with 1:21 to go, 44-14, Slocomb with the lead. And just have a lot of personnel going in and out. Guys just not sure who's supposed to be in and who isn't.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Keith is going to give number 4, Wynn Brock, freshman, his first snaps on the varsity level here. And I think that's a great thing. I mean, Jake is obviously first-string quarterback. Harrison's second-string, but Harrison's played a lot of snaps on the defensive side of the ball. Has taken a beating tonight trying to bring down those 2 running backs for Slocomb, so he's worn out. Give Wynn the chance to get some snaps and hand the ball off and maybe even run it himself. So I like what we're seeing here.
Well, that's what we saw last year when Harrison Mims got a chance to play quarterback. Christian Durden got a chance to run the ball, got a chance to play some defense. And sometimes you just never know what a guy has till he gets a chance to get in there in game situations. So about 1:21 to go in a fourth quarter that has been as long as any other quarter that we've seen tonight.
It seems to keep on going, you're right.
The 2 Providence home game this year have probably been a collective 6 hours. Here we go. Third string quarterback in. He gives the inside handoff and a pretty good run there. Gets it down to give him about 5 yards and brings up a 3rd down and 1. And Providence still has time for a couple more plays.
Yeah, that was Rylan Banner again on the carry, and just hard running there by him. Good job by the freshman, 5'10", 131 pounds.
Yeah, next year we'd like to see that about 151 pounds, but getting some of that, and excited for his parents and friends to get a chance to see him play. There's nothing quite like coming off the field after getting a chance to play a little bit and talking with your friends and family. Under a minute to go, 3rd down and 3. Snap goes, and tried to do the quarterback around the corner, but didn't quite work. Slocomb was ready for it, and that was Michael Ward, who's played quite a bit tonight, and he's able to make that tackle.
He was. Brock tried to sneak around the right end after faking the handoff and couldn't quite get the edge. Read nicely there by the Slocomb defender, Ward.
So there is 16 seconds to go. Really no reason to snap it again unless they just want to get one more snap for this offense, but they're going to have to hurry up. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. And it looks like Slocomb's going to be able to walk away with a 44-14 win tonight. what we said at the first of the game. Got to look for Jalen Nobles, got to look for Rayshawn Miller, and we saw plenty helping of them. Nobles probably went over 200 yards tonight, and they did a good job with Miller for the most part, but in the second half when they needed him, he big runs and put this game away.
Yeah, those guys, phenomenal athletes, but what's really amazing, Mike, is they're sophomores, both of them. And as you mentioned before, Slocomb, really a lot of on their roster, a lot that played tonight and produced are 10th graders. So the future, not just this year, but the future is bright for Slocomb football.
It absolutely is, and you can tell they're well coached as well, very disciplined and very solid. So Slocomb comes in and walks out with a 44-14 win. Providence falls to 1-3. They will be off next week, and we won't be back here in Providence for another month. And we will see you back here in October for the next home game for Providence Christian High School. We appreciate you tuning in and watching with Mike Bridges and Corey Driggers. We're signing off, and we will see you next month with more Providence Christian football. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.
Lewis Smith Supply is dedicated to offering a vast collection of fixtures, faucets, and accessories for your kitchen and bath. Make your dreams a reality. Step into the area's only Kohler Premier showroom or see Delta's Brizo collection for the latest trends in kitchen and bathroom designs. Lewis Smith Supply offers an extensive line of plumbing supplies for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. For more inspiration, come visit one of our showrooms in Dothan or Enterprise.
At Enterprise State, we believe college is for everyone who wants a path to something better. And we're Alabama's fastest growing community college because we're redefining what college can be. More affordable, more accessible, more of the programs you need to find a high-paying job or fast forward the career you've already started. Whether you come for advanced technical training or a solid academic foundation, you'll leave with the tools it takes to make your future happen faster. Learn more and get moving today.
Your #1 source for high school sports. You're watching the Scenic Sports Network.